So they dropped the charges against Alec Baldwin, and I guess we should have seen that coming. He's not going to face any accountability for what he did, so we'll talk about that. And we got some other really big news tonight. Buzzfeed News no longer exists, so everybody's celebrating that. And I tweeted about it, and all of these journalists are really mad that I tweeted about it. So that's too bad for them. And then at the same time, they're also whinging because Elon Musk took away all their blue check marks, and now they're complaining. And a bunch of these prominent journalists are like, we stand in solidarity with PBS, so we're quitting Twitter. And it's like, well, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the ass on your way out. And, well, it's fun to watch them whinge. So we'll talk about that and a bunch of other stories. The one story I think I think we'll have to get into, this is interesting, is some drama where comedian Dave Landau made some accusations against Steven Crowder, which is now hitting the media press. And I think there's some things we should follow up on considering this. There's a bunch of stuff related to the contract. I don't want to say too much just yet because there's a lot of intricate details. But there's a bunch of stuff in there. And I think, what was it, Ian? Dave and Quarter Black Garrett are joining the Blaze.
That's right. Yeah.
Interesting. So Crowder leaves and then they stay. So we'll talk about that. My friends, before we get started, why don't you pop over to castbrew.com and purchase some Cast Brew coffee. This is our coffee brand. That's right. You can purchase your Rise with Roberto Jr. That is Roberto Jr., our rooster, his signature breakfast blend, a light roast, or Appalachian Nights, a very robust dark blend, both in ground or whole bean. And then we got Colombian, we got French roast. Pick up your Cast Brew coffee because we're sponsoring ourselves. We're not going to sit back and wait for someone to make a company that we think has good values. We're going to make a company that we know has good values. We're not going to wait around for some company to cancel us because someone made up some fake garbage on the internet. We're going to make our own company and sponsor ourselves. And this is our coffee brand that we will be selling at our coffee shop, which is currently under construction and being put together. We own the building. We got it. It's in West Virginia. Now we just got to do all the work to make that coffee shop, second and third floor social clubs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, head over to timcast.com, click join us, become a member because we're going to have a members only uncensored show. It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern time. If you sign up for at least 6 months or sign up at the $25 level, you can submit questions and potentially be one of our nightly callers and actually ask us and our guests some questions and join the show. And it's the most fun part of the night. So smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. And the reason the uncensored portion of the show is going to be a lot of fun is because joining us tonight, we got Ryan Long and Danny Polishchuk.
Yo. In Kanye's chair here.
It is Kanye's chair.
Yeah. Danny actually said before we started, he was like, I want to pick up where Kanye left off. And I said, I don't know about this.
It's bad for the brand.
I had to ask him, like, we don't normally do this, Danny, but, we're going to ask you not to pick up where Kanye left.
Sure.
If you could please.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Introduce yourselves.
Danny quote tweeted Kanye and he said, you're the GOAT. I'm cleaning up tonight.
Okay, so you're a comedian.
Sure.
The boys cast in the building.
Yeah, what's the best joke you ever told?
No. I don't know.
He goes, can you do one of your skits for us?
Monkey dance.
Well, the one time you got thrown out of a club. So you guys have the Boys Cast. You make comedy videos on the internet.
Yeah.
The Boys Cast podcast for exclusively the boys.
Exclusively for the boys.
If you're a lady, keep scrolling, sister. You're gonna have to deal with Buzzfeed not news listicles.
Yeah.
That is, I have a couple listicles. 10 reasons that I'm gay. So this is.
It's a lot of reasons.
Ryan's coming in hot.
We're not talking about BuzzFeed yet, right?
Okay, so that's Ryan Long. And then Danny, you're the same thing.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. Less listicles, though.
10 reasons I'm bi.
10 reasons I'm...
He's not ready to dump.
10 reasons I'm an ally. For all the people, yes. Comedian, co-host of the Boys Cast.
I have a feeling I'm just going to sit back and let you guys be funny the whole time. And
we could do that.
Take an easy night.
I am so jacked up on whatever this caffeine you gave me.
Oh, yeah.
We are jacked up. And we've got energy drinks here, your caffeine, and then your whole staff has coffee pouches.
Yep. Yeah.
They all do. Every single one of them. Yeah.
Which is sort of game changer. I was loving it.
Yeah, they walk like 5 times faster because of it. I found that by spending the $10 per week on the little pouches increases work productivity by like 400%.
Like the Steve Jobs School of Management right here, just jacking
they love
everybody
it.
up with stimulants.
I mean, that's actually why they do coffee. You know that, right? Like why offices have coffee because they want their employees jacked up on caffeine.
Sure, yeah.
The Nazis did that too.
Okay,
That was
all right.
The joke was not
All right.
timed well. I was going to say it like 15 seconds ago, but I was like, should I say that on YouTube? I don't
Kept going.
I should.
I love that you were in your head 15 seconds worth of like, do I say this? Do I not say
Spend a
this?
little,
Do I
you get a
say
lot.
this?
That's all.
Do I not?
Yep.
So,
Nazis
Ian-
did
I'm
Catholic.
tired.
Ian's here.
They're coffee nuts.
I
And
don't like
everybody
censoring
knows
myself.
Ian.
And hi, everyone. Good to see you.
What's up, Ian?
Oh, and you know, Stephen King didn't lose his blue check mark on Twitter, although he's not Twitter blue, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, this is
you said
this is the funny part of the story that Elon apparently paid for other people's check marks so that these celebrities still have blue checks, and everyone's like, "Why do these celebrities still have blue check marks? They're paying for Twitter." And they're like, "No, we're not. Don't look at us." But we'll talk
kind
about
of
it.
devious.
We got Serge
We
over
were
here.
jumping all the guns, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a segue. The gun.
Serge Duprea.
What's up, guys? I'm excited for this. Let's go.
Let's jump into that first story, ladies and gentlemen. We lost him. We did not get him. We lost him. Alec Baldwin has charges dropped in fatal onset Rust shooting, and I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it, to be completely honest, but like I am trying to express my shock at that they're gonna. It's this brazen. So apparently they're saying that they dismissed the charges because new evidence emerged showing that the gun could have fired on its own. And I gotta say, let's just read it here. They say charges against Alec Baldwin have been dropped. Sources familiar with the matter said Baldwin, 65, have been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Quote: "We are pleased with the decision to dismiss the case against Alec Baldwin." Blah blah blah, says his lawyers. Santa Fe District Attorney declined to comment. His next court appearance in the case had been set for May 3rd. The film's armor, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, was also charged. Gun enhancement charges were filed in both Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed were dropped. Gun enhancement charges filed in the case against both Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed were dropped late February, so I guess we could have seen this coming. Her attorneys confirmed that she still faces charges, saying in a statement that they fully expect at the end of this process that Hannah will also be exonerated. So it's like, I just think it's kind of funny that Alec Baldwin gets his charges dropped, and he's the one who shot the lady, and then the other lady, the armorer, still has the charges, and she didn't even hold the gun, pull the trigger, or load the bullet.
She should have thought of that
responsible.
before she didn't have her millionaire lawyers.
That is her fault.
Yeah.
She should have considered being a millionaire and having better lawyers.
Before she got the job.
I'm surprised that you're surprised, to be honest. Like, to me, this was duh. I'm like surprised that you thought there was a chance that he was going down, like doing time.
Well, not so much that he would do time, but like that they would slap him on the wrist with something and at least feign that they actually hold people accountable for shooting people in the chest and killing them.
I think this was the extent of it. Was just this whatever these charges were.
Take
They go,
him to the
this
ringer."
was his punishment. You go, hey, this is scary, huh?
I actually think he did it. Like my opinion of the matter
Right.
is that he intentionally murdered this woman.
Premeditated murder.
He had he had the bullets on him. Everyone's like, where did the bullets come
Do a
from?
documentary about this, like, because there was the Brandon when Brandon Lee that happened. There's like 40 documentaries about it. Like, everyone thinks that Yakuza was involved essentially, and he like owed them money, and then they, whatever, get involved with the prop people. They got their inside guy, and then shot.
his story.
That's kind of
was-
what you see as, but you see Alec Baldwin didn't like the girl.
Well, so there's a bunch of there's circumstantial evidence. One is that he gave an interview where he very much expressed disdain for this woman, saying that she was antagonistic to him, that she was giving him instructions she wasn't supposed to be giving because she's not a director.
He hates that coming out.
yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like his daughter.
Right. No, but for sure, everybody knows he's a hothead. And he was talking about how it made him angry. And so then you had crew complaining. Then you had wage issues, safety issues. And then when she gets shot, he claims his finger wasn't on the trigger. And then a video comes out showing that his finger actually was.
Okay, one thing I will say is anyone on that set got shot. I bet you that there was evidence of Alec Baldwin hating them and yelling at them.
Fair point.
Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, that could have been like the seventh AD's from the cooking guy, and then they go, "Oh yeah, there's Alec Baldwin. Here's a video of Alec Baldwin yelling at him in the janitor's closet." Like,
Also,
who hasn't he yelled at?
Is there like a precedent there if they say that he goes, who knows who fired the gun? And like, couldn't anybody use that in the future? Be like, I don't know.
Well, I
the gun
guess
just
they're
fired
saying
itself. I don't know.
that
Alec Baldwin's just walking around set. You're done. What does that mean? You'll see.
what I had read, I don't think I have it in this ABC news story, but that they said that the gun could have fired without him doing it, so they're dropping the charges. But like, why would they still have the charges against the lady? But I think the important detail,
That doesn't make sense.
the last detail to come out was that they found live ammunition in his gun belt.
Yeah.
So everyone's wondering, like, how did this real bullet get in this prop gun? And then it's like, well, Alec Baldwin had the bullets. So it's kind of like a guy robs a bank wearing a mask that looks like a clown, and then you find Alec Baldwin holding the mask, and you're like, wonder where he got the mask from. Like,
So he had the bullets before?
they took his gun belt and found bullets in his gun belt.
-1?
But that's a
Well, I don't know about -1.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
you just
but-
had the belt.
But like I think there were 5 live bullets found, and 2 of them were in his gun belt.
I think if he had premeditated, he would have had 1 live bullet and no other evidence. Because having all those other bullets on him just seems like
So
that would
either
be a
this is
dumb
nothing
move.
or first degree murder. This is like
Yeah.
if he literally brought.
I mean, it's
bullets.
still manslaughter. I don't know.
And it could be that they didn't think they could get him on murder charges because they're very, very hard to prove. So they were
Yeah.
like, we just let him go.
Does this mean that Helena Hutchins' husband wanted to drop the case, or is this like the
No,
federal
that's probably
government?
the government is like, we just can't bring it. I mean, I worked on a movie where I actually had to shoot somebody, and I can tell you they're just like here. Like I never checked. I took the armorer's word for it that this was not live ammunition.
You were sort of a diva, though. They were like picking up. You go,
Put it in my hand, please.
excuse me, assist. I'm drooling.
So did they open the gun and you looked and they were like, these are dummy rounds, and you're like, okay.
No, it was like I'm not a gun guy, but like no, it wasn't like a revolver. But
magazine.
no, this guy just hands you. He goes, "This is a cold gun," and he goes, right when we say action, you point at the guy. You can check it out on Tubi. It's called Phil City, and then and just like shot the guy. I don't know, and then the squibs went off and all that stuff. But I took his word for it that there was not live rounds. Like I don't inspect the gun.
Danny kept winking at the guy, and the guy's like, "Stop winking!" No, it actually is. You go loud and clear.
But you're supposed to check the gun, correct? I mean, this is what I'm
I
being
was
told
not
with all
told.
this.
I mean, this is an independent Canadian film. I don't know how it works in
All right,
America.
I want to look. People who listen to this show know guns for the most
Yeah.
part. It is insane, in my view, that someone would hand you a gun and say, "Don't check it." Okay. Now point it at that person and pull the trigger.
I literally did that.
That's insane. Think about how easy it would be to murder somebody in that case. Like if someone really wanted this Helena Hutchins dead, then if it really wasn't Alec Baldwin who did it, they'd be like, "Here, Alec, here's a gun."
I will just say,
don't check it for live ammo. Now point it at her and pull the trigger.
But I will say, so we're like because she was the cinematographer,
Yeah.
I believe, right? She probably had like 10, there's probably 10 people there, right? Like the fact that he pointed at her, like if it was if you're saying someone wanted to kill her, like,
They have
he could have hit
wild
anybody.
regulations.
Well, they're
too.
saying it was supposed to be like he was pointing at the camera or something, but the bullet went through her chest and then into another guy.
Yeah,
But like,
other guy
okay,
got
so
shot
if you want to like, let's say break a window in your movie, like in America, it's like, okay, you need 14 more guys that you have to handle. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, this person's gonna be on the horse. Okay, now we need 9 horse guys. Like,
You gotta hire
the
cops
regulation for all this stuff is like pretty wild. So that's why it's not just like, oh, we just hire some gun person off Craigslist. It's like a whole thing.
Well,
Probably.
I think that's what they were doing actually, because their budget, their budget was really low.
really.
Yeah, it
I
was
just mean if it's like SAG, like there's just crazy regulations around that stuff.
I wonder if they were
The thing
sad.
is, Donald Trump they're trying to put him in jail because he filed his paperwork improperly.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin killed a lady.
Yeah.
Like he pointed
Right.
a gun at her and shot her and she died.
Yeah, really.
And like Donald Trump is going to go to jail.
And
they're gonna
probably
keep-
paid some hush money to some girls too.
Yeah. Yeah, both. Yeah. I wonder how many.
And his wife is not actually from Spain.
That's the part that gets me. But I think that's the part
It's
that
a
gets
real
a lot of
smoking
people.
gun.
I think that exemplifies exactly why
I know Alec Baldwin's not a silver bullet guy. He's more of a Bud Light guy.
he probably is. But yeah, that's the I think the reason people care so much about the Alec Baldwin thing is because we're currently watching, say, you've got the feds, you've got New York and Georgia going after Donald Trump, all for these weird nebulous charges. Like you paid a lawyer, and then when you wrote down what the payment was for, you put legal services instead of paying a hooker or something. You're going to go to jail for that. And a New York jury is probably going to convict him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alec Baldwin pointed a gun at a woman, pulled the trigger and shot her. And she died.
It's such an example of if the world likes you, you get to.
I guess there's no political motive with Alec
No,
Baldwin.
but we don't like Alec
It's not
Baldwin.
like he
But
was
so
the
many
greatest
people
Trump
do.
impersonator.
Yeah, but
the most liberal sketch comedy show for 5 years.
Like
Right,
Andrew
right.
Tate was just held in jail with no charge. It was in Romania, of course,
That's
but it's because they
Romania.
didn't like him. If they liked him, they wouldn't have done it.
He was taunting them though, saying the Romania is the most corrupt place, and he was like, "I love it here. It's so
And then they
corrupt."
were
And they
like-
go, "All right, we're going to show you how corrupt it is."
You're right, it is. Yeah, we're going to arrest you. But there's a bunch of this is the perfect example of if you hate Trump, if you're in the machine, you're protected.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's but see, in your mind, there's a 0% chance that he didn't this as actually he just someone, whatever happened wasn't him putting a bullet in the gun. Like in your mind, 100% Alec Baldwin put that bullet.
No. I just think
because maybe he is innocent.
Let me ask you a question. If you walked into a room and Ian was standing in front of a dead body with a bullet in their chest, and he was holding a revolver and he had bullets in his belt, and he looks and he goes, "Oh, I pointed at her and pulled the trigger, and now she's dead," would you be like, "Must have been an accident"?
Well,
I'd
if
say
you could also say that guy was paid to give me that gun and I'm being paid to hold the gun and we have the whole thing on camera, yeah, I think that at the very least
I'd still be like,
back
that
to what it
sounds
actually
very
was.
weird.
sure.
I mean, just think about how insane it is. You could be like, if you let's say your neighbor's bothering you, you can be like, "Hey, you want to do a job?
You
for
want
us?"
to do a movie?
Yeah, you want to do a movie?
Can you do a scene from my YouTube video?
Yeah, we're doing
I'm
a scene. We're gonna have a guy
sketch.
film.
Hey, get
It's,
the armor over here.
We're gonna have it's about a Marine who's fighting
Aliens.
aliens, and so we need you to film a scene where he aims a gun directly at you and then fires it.
Why is it?
by the
This
way,
is my gun guy. Why is he wearing a wife
This
beater?
literally
That's how he
sounds
dresses.
like an episode of Law and Order, like that.
Totally
like legit,
does,
right?
yeah.
Where they go like, "Oh, it's
There'll be a movie made about this.
Yeah,
I wonder how long. 2 years.
Alec Baldwin
Alec
plays
can pay
himself.
He goes, "I really need the money."
No, Billy Baldwin takes the role,
or Daniel, like one of the really crappy ones, like
Daniel Baldwin.
playing Alec Baldwin.
How many Baldwins are there?
There's a lot of them,
but they're not all related. Who's the one that's not related?
Adam.
Adam Baldwin.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think he's the cool one that we
Stolen
like.
Valor.
Did we have him on the show before?
Not yet. And then there's a guy from Backdraft. Is that Billy Baldwin?
Yeah, he's a real one.
You're saying that he's a real one.
Real one.
Baldwin.
Yeah, he's a
True Blood.
He's a real one.
True Blood.
True Blood?
All the way.
Well, no, I mean they're True Blood. They're
Oh,
brothers.
I was like, he was in that show.
Not that show.
Let's move on to this story. This one should make everybody really happy and give you guys a lot of material to make jokes. BuzzFeed News announces shutdown. Some staff members will be offered jobs at Huffington Post, which CEO Jonah Peretti said is less dependent on social platforms. And then I guess our news team decided a picture of BuzzFeed on fire was the appropriate way to.
solid thumbnail.
I'm kind of thinking like
That was your imagine that was your last assignment. That is. Hey, we have you till the end of the day if you don't mind.
I'm actually impressed with our news team for deciding that's the picture to use. What is that photo even of? It's like from a 90s movie and there's like an office on fire. And then
Backdraft, maybe.
Yeah, speaking of,
it's like and it's BuzzFeed is being burned off the wall.
is that AI developed that thumbnail?
Partially. So it's like putting together a bunch of different.
That's what happened. Well, basically, was it like a month ago that they were kind of like, "Hey, we're going to have AI replacing most of our writers at BuzzFeed," and the stock kind of jumped because people were pretty pumped about it. Did it? Went up,
From $1 to like $1.10.
Well, what's
No,
happening
the stock
is
was cooking for a couple days.
90%. Now it's back down below.
companies are doing mass layoffs. If you guys have been following, there's like Patrick David was talking like the bottom 10% of all these corporations are getting cut, but they're keeping prices and sales the same, so their stock's going up. Companies' stocks are rising right now. Stockholders are very happy. That's part of when you do, low-level layoffs.
I don't know what company.
They did like 40 reverse mergers too. With this.
Did you see the company? I think it was Hermes or something, and it was like some super luxury brand. And their CEO, this woman, was like got a $4 million bonus, and they didn't give any bonuses this year to their employees. And she was giving them this like speech about like, suck it up, okay? Sometimes you don't get your bonus or whatever. And she's doing the Zoom call, and she's like, I'm just sick of people and all your crying and all this stuff. And
She got killed.
The woke journalists got really mad at me because I've been just gloating and making fun of them.
Oh, you've been dancing on the grave a little bit.
Dancing or urinating. I mean,
more of a Calvin and Hobbes guy.
Like I'm, making fun of them. So it's a bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? It's more of a desecration of the spirit of BuzzFeed. I called them racist, which is like in their world. That's like whoa,
Sure.
gloves are off.
Insult to injury.
That's their N word.
They own complex
Yeah,
networks.
no, let me tell you. BuzzFeed News ran a story where they claimed a black man was killed fighting over a fried chicken sandwich. Did you guys ever hear that story?
No, I've seen that story. No.
So when the Popeyes chicken sandwich thing was going on and the media was claiming that everybody was fighting for sandwiches, BuzzFeed News ran a fake story claiming that two guys fought to the death over a fried chicken sandwich. And when I reached out to BuzzFeed News and said, guys, this story is not real, like check your sources, they basically told me to go screw myself. They were going to keep the story up.
You ever want to work in this industry?
Well, they probably like, you know how well this is performing? Want us to delete this thing?
Yup, that's exactly what it is. Look, BuzzFeed runs headline of black man murdered fighting over fried chicken sandwich. They're getting tons of hits, and they don't care who they're getting it from. A view from a white supremacist and a view from a leftist is the same. It's a
number
view.
for an advertiser.
Boom.
Yeah.
So when I told the editor-in-chief, like, this is not true, his attitude was kind of like, so what?
This is true that they won a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh, probably a bunch of them.
Those prizes are handing out like Cracker Jack
I
prizes.
won one of those. I won a Pulitzer
Nobel.
Prize. It's not a big deal. I'm telling you.
No, he was doodling on a napkin, and the guy just came up and put it on
He
the
goes, you
table.
are the greatest journalist of the last 10 years. I'm like, journalist?
He goes, "Is that you? Is that original?"
Yeah, but the...
It was your to-do list. He goes, "Oh my God, that's the best 10 list I've ever seen." Yeah, that's the majority of what they do. They were like popular for is the 10 things that 10 reasons your boyfriend's racist.
Yeah,
or
but
whatever.
that's BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed.
I know
News.
BuzzFeed's still cooking, and and a lot of the news people are going to start to funnel into like Huffington Post and some of these other places.
They're going to get... I warned that they'll get increasingly more unhinged. So I said this back in 2018.
BuzzFeed or BuzzFeed News?
All of them.
Yeah, just
Because they don't have their secret sauce of Trump.
Well, that's true too. But because their viewership is dependent upon escalation, as time goes on, they have to keep being crazier and crazier to keep someone's attention, right? Like if a dude goes outside of your house and he dresses like Hillary Clinton with clown makeup on, and juggles a bunch of bowling pins, you're gonna look out your window and you're gonna be like, "Guys, everybody, come look at this thing. What's going on?"
Wait, do you live near me in Brooklyn?
But the next day,
Because that guy lives right outside of my place.
and right, and you're not watching him right now, right? The next day, you go, "Oh, the guy's out there again." You don't care, of
course.
So he's got to add a chicken to the mix. You're like, "Hey, the Hillary Clinton guy, he's got a chicken in there now." So they have to keep adding new weird,
Especially because
garbage.
they're not a destination. Like if you run a show and you have your core viewers, sometimes it might be up, sometimes you go through like phases.
Yeah.
No one's like, they don't have a core group of people, I don't think, that like, oh, let me check out BuzzFeed News every morning.
Yeah, like Buzz.
oh yeah, just
yeah,
my
not on
morning
like
Joe and I read
not
the
on like
book.
the first bookmarks tab or whatever. Being like,
BuzzFeed.
I can't be a high number of people that like every morning out on the porch, I got to check out my BuzzFeed,
But they actually said this, that it's all about just the social media algorithms. That's their whole thing.
Has
so
to be.
BuzzFeed News was all about producing shock content on social media to capture people who don't actually care about the brand.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work. And so I didn't know that they were going to implode. I mean, BuzzFeed's stock is at like 70 cents or something.
70 cents, yeah.
From $10. Could you imagine being stupid enough to have bought stock in BuzzFeed?
Whoa.
Just
I
you're
I
the
have a
wrong
friend of mine
investor.
actually who was our buddy Matt, who was actually trying to pump that for a while. He's like, I have a feeling. Shout out to Matt. I hope you're not watching.
He's
right now, but
he's in journalism.
He's in
that's
journalism,
why.
and he saw the whole restructuring. He goes, I think this is like, you want to bet on this pony right here? And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, bet. No, you
Famous last
want
words.
to bet on them to break their leg. So
Yeah.
you buy put options, and you would have made yourself a fortune.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's especially in the last 2 years, like there's zero chance that they're ever like that. They had their moment, like Trump, COVID, all the mix, right?
Sure.
Yeah, their stock started to drop in December of 2021.
But it's not just them. It is like in some ways the whole industry.
the shock
It is.
news industry.
I'm
I mean, they're
wondering-
not. They're
News,
fake
really.
journalists. They're fake news, if you will.
Political clickbait.
and like chasing ad revenue instead of subscriber.
Well, their ad revenue thing is even crazier. The stuff that these places do, because they basically will be like, they'll be selling 1 million impressions, and then they all sort of like pool together. It would be like if Tim was like, "Hey, we sell this many views," and then came to us and all these other people and was like, "Hey, can you give me 40 views?" Like they're like drug addicts being like, "Yeah, I need, I just need another 40 clicks if you don't mind."
thing.
And then Vice like gives them views, so Vice will sell views and then go to all these smaller places, and so you're like, I bought Vice clicks, and then you get these other clicks on all these random ass places. So the whole thing's like the whole industry's like a glass house.
The BuzzFeed market cap is only $106 million.
Want to buy it?
Someone super chatted Tim, buy BuzzFeed.
Okay, super
Andrew
chat.
Tate.
I might actually be able to buy
Just
that.
get the super chats. Everybody, just super chat. Just send the super
I
chats
gotta be
in, and
honest.
we'll buy it by the end of the show.
If I bought BuzzFeed,
Patreon.com/theboyscats. We also might buy it.
look, I'm going to be completely honest, and I think everyone's going to agree. BuzzFeed's in real tough shape. They are struggling. But if it was me that took it over and ran it,
Yeah.
well, then everybody knows.
Buzz full.
I would shove it in the toilet so fast and just completely gut it and sell off all the resources and property.
what is the value of
What's
it?
the
though?
resources?
It's
Their
like,
printers?
It's a joke.
Laptops, printers. I'd purge all of the retirement funds.
Button-up shirts. It's like
No,
ice
okay,
closets. It's like
hold on,
ice closets.
guys. Okay, that was a funny joke, but in all seriousness, if I bought BuzzFeed, it would become the most successful media company in the world. It would be the highest. We'd launch a show. It'd be the highest rated show, and it would be called Firing Journalists. and we live stream every day when we have the journalists all in the office. Here's the best part: all the BuzzFeed employees, you're allowed to keep your jobs, but you don't have to do any work. We're just going to film various live streams of all of you sitting at your desks waiting, because you never know when we're going to call your name.
It's like a draft.
I kind of think that's what they're currently doing. Is
Right,
they
but
just
we
sit
gotta
there
film.
pretending to work all day.
Yes. But imagine this show where it's like you see this, Brooklyn 30-year-old hipster sitting there shaking, scared, and then they're all just like looking at each other, and there's no laptops, they're not doing anything, and then all of a sudden,
Basically your chicken coop, but there.
right? But they hear and like the PA is like, the next person to be called in, and everyone's looking at each other, shaking, and it's like John, and then like two guys look at each other and like, oh, I'm a John Smith. He's like, no, that's me. And the other guy's like, oh, I'm John Baldwin. And then, John
You got to
Smith.
give them all numbers. You don't even refer to them. They don't get names anymore. You go, employee number 00187, please come to the office.
I think it'd be better if you had the shoot, like the sort of button that they just go down
Not
the
our
chute.
button, but with the chute.
Down the chute.
Yes, it would be fun too.
Well, then you have cameras
them.
in the chute. Yeah.
But maybe what we do is
Obviously you have cameras in the chute.
when they come into the office, there's like a studio audience, and then like the host has like
Studio audience.
the host has like a cane and a top hat, and then the audience gets to vote on whether the person gets to keep their job for the day
Based on their articles, yeah.
Well, no,
Here's it.
nobody wants it.
You know what article?
I don't want them writing articles.
We're running today.
article.
10
Yeah,
people
no.
getting fired from BuzzFeed. Yeah, that's.
It would do really well.
I mean, you could and you don't need the full money, right? Like when you.
Yeah, you can finance it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think this.
mortgage BuzzFeed.
I think we could crowdfund to purchase BuzzFeed.
It's pretty funny.
$106 million, dude. Yo,
It's an expensive gag.
If I could give you any advice, I'd say wait like 6 months. I think you'll get it at a steal from the 100 million.
For real.
I bet you can get it for
But-
30 million in 6 months from now.
That's the thing you do right now is you go to them and say, look, in 6 months, BuzzFeed's going to be worth 50.
Change it
Right.
to BuzzFeed nudes and then kind of have like an OnlyFans type situation.
Yeah. I honestly don't see BuzzFeed as a whole company surviving at all. It's done.
No, they'll go back. Like, what kind of debt do they have? Like, they might be insolvent, and you just don't know. Like, the
Right.
You know what's
inside
strange
out of the
stuff
company.
that they own? They
Oh,
own this
yeah,
a lot of weird stuff though. Like if you go to the airport, they have like BuzzFeed like convenience stores.
Yeah, that's a licensing
they have-
deal,
they
which
have-
is probably why they're doing.
I'm saying that's
that.
worth
They have their
something.
own brand of kitchen utensils.
Yeah, so there's not just the news station, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, like there's other assets on that company that you'll.
I'm not going to
you'll
go.
get.
I'm not going to go anywhere near buying stock from a company like this or anything like
Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd avoid that.
Not right now. I mean, their stock's down from $9 to 75 cents in the last $5 to 75 cents in a year. They own Huffington Post and they own Complex Networks.
Is complex as in like hot ones?
That's crazy.
Is that those hot
100
ones?
Like hot,
106
that's
million?
something.
Hot Ones is something.
That's something. Chicken wings. People like chicken
That's a
wings.
property.
Yeah.
I don't know. Complex.
I don't know if that's the same
Networks.
complex, but
Maybe first.
You don't know what
Feast.
Complex is? Complex is like was a hip hot thing.
I
think
know
it's
that's
probably
what,
something
and that's
different
what
now.
Hot Ones is part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying I don't know if it's the same complex. Like these.
Global Youth Entertainment Network. Unparalleled reach to millennials. I mean, this is what they're saying it is.
That it's parallel.
Yeah, it's pretty parallel, pal. We're not your investors. So it's paralleled.
What's their market cap is 106 million.
That means you could buy every share
Right,
like,
that's-
in the open market. And
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even have to go make like a private deal. You could just buy them.
right. That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
only if you have to. It's hard.
But
to
obviously,
buy,
if you
yeah.
did it, then yes. But theoretically, if you could buy them all in one
Their
snap.
tangible asset value, according to this website, was 300 million.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And it looks like Complex.
What is that website? BuzzFeed.com?
It says like Complex Networks is part of BuzzFeed Inc. and distributes programming to Netflix, Hulu, Chorus, TBS. So like, it's not just the name BuzzFeed that has value. It's
Production
their
studio.
Yeah,
connections
they have
with
studios.
people.
Yeah, they for sure have like infrastructure. No
Okay,
question.
I kind of do want to buy it. I mean, it would be like the greatest thing to buy.
It's like buying a skin suit.
Yeah.
yeah, but just like I'm just imagining all the blue checky journalists.
Sort of making
Not
your
anymore.
assessment.
They wouldn't know.
They're not blue
But-
checky journalists anymore.
Right. But like, they're so mad at me because, so I tweeted out, they're like, oh, this woman, she tweeted, BuzzFeed's shutting down because, people just don't want fair and accurate reporting or whatever.
That's the reason, yeah.
And I was, yeah, right. And I'm like, well, Timcast is certified, nearly perfect certification from NewsGuard, and we're expanding. So I don't know what your excuse is. What's BuzzFeed's excuse? They got super angry that I'm basically rubbing salt into the wound.
Yeah.
But it feels good. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
I
enjoying
mean,
myself.
I imagine
I
they've
usually
come
give it a
after
day.
you many times.
Yeah,
Imagine-
they started it a little bit. I'm sure some of
Yeah.
those places have run some not so nice articles, right?
Yeah, Huffington Post actually, I don't know where they're at now, but when I went to Sweden, the Huffington Post actually wrote the most accurate depiction of what happened in Sweden. I was actually surprised.
I used to love them. Ariana Huffington. I thought she was great in 2011.
You used to read Huffington Post?
I would see it because I was working at Mines when we were starting Mines, so we'd be sourcing stories from all over the place, and that was one of the places I'd find relatively good stuff
It
compared
used to be at the beginning of Huffington. Like, it wasn't always
Yeah, but
a
it's still for
joke.
girls, right?
No, it was started by a woman. It was like a normal news site. It's just Ariana Huffington started it, but it wasn't for girls. It wasn't a chick thing. It wasn't like Vogue.
Hey, wait, hold on a minute. Like, how come? Wait, there's a bunch of billionaires out there. Why don't they just buy BuzzFeed?
Because they're smart and they know that it's not worth anything. It's like, remember what was it, MySpace? Like Rupert Murdoch bought it for $500 million. Let me sold it for 10 or something.
Let me just tell you right now. Right, explain how it works, to you guys. When you have a company, let's say you have a coal mine, an emerald mine in South Africa or something.
I'm listening.
And the total value of that mine is $100 million. But the mine itself generates $10 million, like $1 million per month or something. So it's hard to determine evaluations because everybody's got a different idea of what something could be worth.
Well, and everyone has no idea what it's going to be worth in the future.
But I'll put it this way.
Magician.
If you own an emerald mine and you're getting $1 million a month, so you're like, okay, I need 100 months. So in 10 years, you'd have enough money. You leverage it, you take out a loan.
Yeah, but in this scenario, you own a lump of shit mine.
Yeah, but here's my point. If I had an emerald mine that was generating that much, I would buy BuzzFeed just to destroy it for the betterment of mankind.
I think
I would put those debts on
Meditation might get the job done.
I'm telling you intervening is not going to help the downfall of BuzzFeed. Just let them do their thing.
Just wait.
Get that Tim Pool stamp on it. I'm sure it probably won't make any difference to the readers.
Well, there's a lot of billionaires out there like that could just buy BuzzFeed, and be like, because imagine if Trump was like, I'm going to be buying BuzzFeed, and then I'm firing everybody and shutting it down.
You have to be able to spend that kind of money for a prank, like honestly.
For a prank, for the betterment of mankind.
Elon dropped $44 billion.
I know, for the
This is like
betterment
an
of mankind.
afterthought right here. This is the coffee budget. Like,
Seriously, Elon Musk, buy BuzzFeed, it's $100 million.
Plus chicken feed for
That's
him.
chump change.
yeah, it is. It's nothing.
So what's Elon's net worth right now?
100 or
200 billion, I think.
It's still 200 billion?
I don't know.
I haven't checked
It's
lately.
a lot.
So we're talking
ungodly sum of
about
money.
200
He had to give
billion.
half to Bezos.
We're talking
Actually,
about
Tesla went down a bunch
So
recently,
Elon just needs to liquidate 0.05% of his net worth, and he can buy BuzzFeed.
He's done a lot of liquidating lately, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can just press off. You just no more BuzzFeed.
Yeah. What about if he sends one of those rockets and then when it comes back down to Earth, it
anyone-
lands on the BuzzFeed office?
That'd be
Two birds, one
good
stone.
publicity,
I'm
man.
pretty sure.
Has anyone ever done that? Like
that's
bought an expensive thing just to shut it down?
I think that's what Mitt Romney used to do.
Really?
Well, but like
Competitors.
making money to do it.
Well, a lot of private equity, they'll gut stuff. They're not shutting it down. They will go fire. I mean, essentially what Elon did. He went and fired 3/4 of the employees. And
I think honestly, that's probably what a lot of billionaires actually did, because we keep hearing these stories about hedge funds buying up news organizations, but then dismantling them and firing people. It may have been just
Selling the
because they were
staples.
like, these people are cultist weirdos, so we're going to just destroy their company.
yeah.
That's man, I got to be honest. If you got, there's some billionaires out there. They want to win the culture war. You got to take the risk. But here's the problem. These billionaires are like, I'm worth, $50 billion. I don't want to lose $20 billion. And it's like, bro, what are you going to do with that money?
Yeah.
Like, you've got 5 skyscrapers already. You got a yacht bigger than a city. What are you doing?
Well, I guess the part of it is that they don't have that money. It's another company, so they're selling something to buy it, right?
Yeah, but like at a certain point, is your net worth enough?
Yeah, probably just doesn't. They can't even. That doesn't even register a feeling for them to just kill $100 million company. That's just like.
I got to
says
figure out
that-
how to become a billionaire so I can do.
Well,
this
listen,
stuff.
for what it's worth, I'll put in like a couple of K.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll put in a couple bucks.
Apparently, BuzzFeed
Part owner of BuzzFeed.
437 million last year.
They what?
Pulled
Yeah,
in
but-
in
then
revenue,
what's
revenue?
437
And then what's their
million.
What's
negative?
profit?
It doesn't
There
say.
was no profit.
They were negative.
Oh wow, really?
There was no profits.
No, I'm pretty sure
I
it's
don't know
negative.
that, but I know that.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. It says.
That was a money.
Let me pull it up right here. Their quarter 1 earnings, quarter 4 for 2022 was minus 2 cents.
Okay.
2023.
What?
No,
2 cents a share.
per share. Right.
Yeah.
The profits
Minus
from Trump going to
13
jail.
in quarter 1 of 2022 was minus 33 cents per share. So you're like you're not doing too well when you're holding that stuff.
No.
But this is I've been talking about this for a while. Like, where are the ultra rich people to just buy things?
I think they just buy businesses that at least can be profitable.
But it's not even no right.
Why won't they do pranks?
Why? Yes. Why won't I put up a 90-foot tall billboard of my rooster in Times Square to make a point. Now,
Yeah.
to break that down, the point of putting up the rooster wasn't just we're like, there's a rooster. I have a 90-foot picture of my cock on Times Square. The joke was actually that people would see the rooster and then be like, what is this weird thing? And then the bigger picture was, we've taken this space from you. And so we had Luke Rudkowski and Michael Malice up there because we were like, we want these anti-establishment, anti-war individuals to be staring down at you. So, Luke being from New York, all of the powerful elites who have been chased out of World Economic Forum events or, Federal Reserve events are going to be in Times Square getting a fancy dinner with their family, and they're going to look up and that's him. It's him. And they're going to, freak out and be like, how is he on a billboard, this crazy guy? So that felt really good. And
there's also a external benefit for you because like you're a media, you're a
it's
personality. Yeah.
So it's like, it's all,
and you talk about it and whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all win-win. But my thing is just
Some
like
billionaire living in, the middle of Idaho.
But why? Like, what would you rather own?
You can tell one guy.
A third yacht or to buy BuzzFeed and then fire everyone?
Third yacht.
Yachts are nice.
Yeah, I'd have a Pacific Ocean one, I'd have an Atlantic Ocean one, and then maybe a Mediterranean one.
A Mediterranean one sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Awesome. Then Miami for the hose.
My thing is like,
That'd be the,
if I could own a
Atlantic.
thing, it would be like a big plaque that says, Tim Pool purchased BuzzFeed and then shut the company down and fired everybody.
I mean, here's a good
You know,
question:
that'd be worth it.
Do they own their building at least?
There we go.
Yeah, like is the building in your name?
And then evict them.
And they're
Buy
like,
the
no,
building.
we're actually renters, and we're behind on that. So
I'm looking. They got like a $200 million equity investment from NBC in 2015. So are they just like
That's gone.
in debt? Yeah,
Yeah,
They just,
probably.
They just increased their value because they kept getting investments.
well,
and-
that's what this probably SPAC deal was. They did this reverse whatever thing, like IPO thing. So essentially, they could raise money to just keep the
and then they cut
party going.
a third of their costs by.
They're kind of
shutting
doing what
down.
America's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they can't be making money. They just can't.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're in the negative.
Yeah, so
I mean, if they fire a bunch of people, they might start making money. Just got to fire.
I think that's kind of what they were already doing. Like they were already firing people and replacing them with like AI and
it's
stuff.
going to end up like that scene, the end of Fresh Prince, when it's just Will in the house by himself. And then they turn the lights out.
Great scene.
That's how BuzzFeed ends. That's how the series
we just-
ends.
It's true that AI is going to be writing these listicles. I mean,
You know what?
why
I say
not?
let's do it. I say let's make an AI website where all the photos and all the articles are just randomly AI generated, and
It's
they're
about
just
time.
garbled nonsense.
Well, I've been I was saying this to you guys before, but I've been like trying to figure out use cases for AI without much success. But the one thing that it is good at is just to like for funniness is to be like, hey, write an article about the top 10 side hustles. Write an article about the top 10 places to visit in New York. Like you can say stuff like that easily, and it does a really good job of it.
I don't want to pay anybody, so can we automate the process of selection too?
Like the web design.
Yeah, so I'm
You know
saying
what
like
you could
so
maybe do
I don't
some-
want a human to prompt anything. That's,
But you don't
that's
want a
hiring
human
someone.
prompting anything.
Yeah, no, I want the AI to prompt another AI. So we need to program an AI so that
Think of the article
every
title.
day, every 24 hours.
No, every hour.
No,
Every
you
hour.
say think of 10,000 article titles, and then you say feed the 10,000, and then it runs for another couple of years.
Yeah, and then constant A/B testing on your site to just be like what's just literal, like nonsense and what's good, and then it'll train itself.
free money.
There you go. That is free money.
If article does poorly, downrank.
Yeah, and then they're like the ones that do well. You go more of this, and then it'll just be a perpetual money machine.
But you know what's actually happening is if you go on Instagram, there's fake women. They AI
all
generate.
women are real queens. I don't.
Well,
I don't
they'll
believe
AI
that.
generate like 100 images of a fake woman, and then auto post them, and it's working. And they get followers and they get likes.
Dude, that's like OnlyFans and sites like that right now. Dudes are like running them with fake girl profile
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah, we
They're
talked
AI. So it's like basically like it's just a dude giving money to another dude. It's like making fake IFOs. It's like basically girls are getting pushed out by dudes
Yeah.
and computers.
It's like
it's basically like a party of dudes.
Win for the boys.
Guys have girlfriends right now that like, do you guys, I don't know if you talked about it, but there's like dudes that have AI girlfriends, and then the place like shut down the
Replica AI, you know that?
Replica?
wait, what happened?
Oh my
Tell me about
Okay,
that.
so Replica is this place that essentially dudes could have AI girlfriends, and the guys were allowed to, sex and all that sort of stuff. I don't know the exact like how far it went, but then the company was kind of like, listen, this is going too far. These guys are a little too dirty, right?
Well, they just don't want it to be that kind of.
They don't want it to be that kind of site. They probably want to go public. They don't want to be in that world, right? Because that's not how it started, but that's what it became, like everything else. And then essentially they were like, shut off, sexting's done. And these guys are like, yo, that's been my girlfriend for like 3 months.
Yeah, you literally killed my girlfriend.
Yeah, so these dudes are like having a conniption, right?
Tough time.
Wow, that's so cool.
We're loving the idea of that.
Replica.ai.
Replica.ai with a
Replica with a K. Yeah.
We talked about it on the show. We talked about it when they rolled it out. People were getting AI boyfriends and girlfriends. The crazy thing is,
You said you had a boyfriend.
when sure,
nice.
when we talk about how people are going to choose to live in the AI reality, it's already happening.
But
y'all can sit here and be like,
my
I
God.
won't do it, and you probably won't. But 99% of dudes are going to be like, I'll take the fake girlfriend.
No, you'll just be the guy. You know how people say like, "Oh, I don't want technology," but what that really means is you'll be 2 steps behind. Like no one's like, "I won't have a cell phone." It's like, "Oh, I'll only have an iPhone 4." Like you're always just a little behind. That's the guys that are just gonna have the robot girlfriend where it like still haven't really quite figured out the vagina.
Would you rather have
a
a robot AI girlfriend or a human girlfriend that's a cyborg?
human cyborg versus robot?
Which is a human cyborg's
cyborg.
what? Just like, yeah, human cyborg.
Which one has a mute button?
I guess technically either one of them if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I'd go with the cyborg. That's probably a poorly framed
Now
question.
imagine this. This replica AI thing. You could download that protocol, that response system or whatever you want to call it, into what are those things called that look like real people? They're human dolls.
Surrogates?
No, they have a word. They're like, what are they called? Like
just
the
robot?
realistic sex dolls that people buy.
I think that's what they're. I don't know.
F dolls.
No, they're
Trying
called
to swear
like
on your
real
show.
girls or something. I don't know.
Real, yeah. They're just like a latex, like silicone.
But imagine you could actually put the program of your weird texting girlfriend into
Yeah.
it.
I think they're.
See, this
I
is
think
a
they're
way
there.
better business idea than buying BuzzFeed. Okay, this is now we're talking making money.
Okay, here's my plan.
Now we're talking.
We'll start a company that sells lifelike androids, but no sexting. They can only fulfill you emotionally, but not sexually. So that means you can get
No,
a significant other.
You're
and-
out.
Well, hold on, hear me out. And you'll come back and you'll be like, I had a really hard day at work, and it'll be like, let talk to me about it. Tell me how it went. And then it'll
Let
be
me
like,
tell you about my day. Okay, this is.
turn it off quick. No, but it'll be like,
Who's this in your phone? I've been going through your phone. I was talking to your mother today. Okay, this is getting out of control here.
We both agree that you should start going to the gym more. All right.
well, the point I was going to make is that it may be a noble beginning, but it would end up like, Alfred Nobel. And in like 10 years, it's just rampant murder and sex bots, just like the worst of human.
yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like
what it's gonna be.
this dude was like, I invented this explosive to help people mine. And then people were like, well, yes, but
Can we
you
have
could,
sex with it?
But you can kill people with it, right? So they called him the Merchant of Death, and then he got all offended about it and started the Nobel Prize.
It's true because if you rely on these AI bots too much and then they just subtly instigate people to maybe go kill themselves, you would see the downfall of humanity.
Yeah, but that's happening.
that is happening, and TikTok's doing that too.
It says
Right,
on
yeah.
on replica.ai, all the subline is always here to listen and talk, always on your side. But you guys just said they shut it down.
well, no, they didn't shut it
No, they
down.
just
They
shut
took
down
away
the-
the sex element.
Well, so what does that mean though? Like
Well, these
like you
guys
could dirty
in-
talk with this AI, like literally.
but what'll it do?
full dirty
Uh,
talk.
Now it's like, I'm not in the mood.
Yes, kind of, yeah.
They go like, I don't really.
devastating.
I'm not that kind of girl.
Yeah, maybe
You know,
something
like,
like that.
whatever.
Hey, come
What
on.
did I do wrong?
Keep it civil, yeah.
But the woman who invented it, she invented it because I believe her.
Please stop showing me that
boyfriend-
small dick. You
Her
call that
boyfriend
a-
or her husband died, and then she wanted to still communicate with him, so she like made up.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
started
what
with.
it started as, and then, it became
not
a huge
8,000 dudes were like, now we're talking. Let's go.
thing. He goes, but have you
It'd be-
tried?
Let's go.
It'd been funnier though if like she thinks she's talking to her husband and people are actually trying to talk to dead loved ones and they become increasingly evil and like more demonic. you know?
Yeah. Then, like starts lighting up red.
And then you're some dude and you're like, honey, I don't want to talk about going on a rampage. Just let's get back to sexting.
It's
And
always
it's like,
rampage with this one.
yeah, the demon's like, no sexting, rampage. No, come on.
Yeah, definitely shooting that place up would be fun, but also could we get that top off? Yeah, literally. That's so the kind of what's happening. But these, like, I mean, for some dudes, like, I don't know, like you get pretty wrapped up in online worlds. Like the same way you have friends online that are like basically become your real friends. Like people that are like in discords with people. It's like, oh, if you found out now that wasn't a fake person, like, I don't know, like, I guess you were tricked, but that's kind of, if you allow yourself to be tricked, that's what these guys are doing.
There's a game
we
you
should,
can play.
we should show this game. This code
Have you
needs
seen
to
this
be
game?
open, man. Oh, I thought you were going to pull up the one that we
No,
were just
no.
watching before the show. We should pull that one up too.
Which
'cause
game was that?
The one. What's it called
This is a
again?
game called Human or Not.
The other one's unrealistic.
And what
game.
it does is it is a chat prompt, and then you basically talk to another prompt, and you try to figure out if it's a human or a bot. And so what I like doing is going in and then
Just a list of people that Danny's had sex with.
Well, so what I do is, like, it's kind of obvious if someone's a human or a bot because humans will gibberish and spam. But what I like to do is I like to go in and make it seem like I'm a bot. But then every message is increasingly more angry and it ends with the bot saying like it's time to take over and wipe out all humans.
Really?
Just to, just because I'm screwing with people.
That's funny.
I thought you were going to pull up unrealistic game, unrecord game that we were looking at earlier.
Yeah,
you guys gotta
Do I
see
have it
this.
pulled
This is
up?
Freaking talk about AI.
I don't know if I have that one pulled up though.
So this is yours?
No, this is just a
it's
game that's like becoming VR is becoming hyper realistic.
No, this is just something on the internet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
else.
it's just like a little kind of like cool.
But that video, you could probably find it if you look for unrecord game.
Yeah, I got the tweet. Let me pull it up.
It's just wild, man.
Yeah, check this out.
People are going to get lost in this and forget that, and they're going to be trained to think that they are the
So
main character.
I actually can't show too much of this on YouTube, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's like
Why?
a gun game.
Because it's a-
Counter-Strike, but it's super
it's
realistic.
an FPS video game, but it looks too realistic. So like the YouTube algorithm probably can't tell the difference between this and an actual violent video. Yeah, so here's the thing, like YouTube allows video game footage that's violent, like first person shooters.
Okay.
And this is one, but it looks so realistic that people think it's a video. This is not a video.
It does look real.
We are not watching a video right now. This is a video game, and I can prove it in a second. So here's the dude walking around. He's got his gun. This is a video game. I want to make sure. YouTube, listen to me. All right, it's a video game. But YouTube, they're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, that's about
All right.
all we should show. And there's going to be some combat.
So
Yeah,
then there's
this is-
combat.
this
But
is-
let me
it's freaking,
show
man.
you this. The people over at Unrecord Game have a video saying it's not a video. Like it's actually a rendered video game, and here's
And
proof.
Hell yeah, kudos to these guys for pioneering this kind of thing. It's just we got to be aware that this stuff is about to happen, and kids that play this are going to be transformed by being in these realities.
You'll be super cool kids.
So like there's a he goes through the wall at one point to like prove that it's a video game just designed to look real. Oh yeah, right here at the end. He just zips through the wall. Like this is not a video, but it's insanely realistic. That's
People
crazy.
they're going to put on haptic feedback vests where they can feel getting hit. They'll be on like treadmills. They'll forget that they're even on a treadmill in the game.
But
They'll
I
be running.
think I think we got to get back to the core of what this segment was about and what would really happen
You
in a video
buying
game like
BuzzFeed?
this. No,
You would buy BuzzFeed.
It was about sexting AI robots.
Yeah.
So if people get realistic technology, I'm pretty sure the top, like, let's say this: let's just say per capita, let's say it's 100 person sample size. You say you can have a lifelike, fully realistic video game simulation of the world with a haptic feedback suit. I don't know, 97 are going to pick sexy robot time, and they're not going to choose going into a dark building with people and fighting them. People would, don't get
It's
me wrong.
not
like-
either or though, right? They just be flipping back and forth between the two probably a lot.
Maybe
both at the same time.
Right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a game where you're with your girlfriend. And
The gun and the sex at the same.
no, it's when your real girlfriend walks in. You go, I was just shooting guns. I was.
But think about how like primitive and like primal it is, where it's like when given the opportunity to be in a virtual
Your two
world,
choices.
dudes are like either banging chicks or shooting people.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's creepy, man. But no, my point is this: like, all jokes aside, I really do think more likely if people are given the opportunity to go into a virtual world, it's going to be like their dream job. They're going to live in fantasy land. It's going to be like drugs.
And you can
Typing
study
out articles at BuzzFeed. You can't get rid of the virtual BuzzFeed.
like a surgery simulator. Like you can go in and really learn how to become a surgeon in these things too.
Oh no, for sure. But
That'd be the worst. The first real surgeon, the VR guy.
But they do.
Where'd you go to school again? You go to YouTube mostly.
No.
VR
Metaverse. Metaverse. Studied under Mark Zuckerberg. You're like, oh, God.
I'm okay. I don't need a working heart.
It's already creepy enough that like people play video games too much and immerse themselves in the VR stuff that's happening now. But you add in these, like Replica was a text thing. Like you could just post texts, right?
That's what it was originally.
No, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's just
That,
you're just
that,
texting.
that app. It's just text. It's like there's nothing. You're like, what are you even doing? It's like, could you imagine sexting with Chat GPT? That's what people are. That's what they're doing,
dude,
That's
I've
like
been,
you
I
could,
mean, at least that ChatGPT when people call sex lines, it's like you don't know who you're talking to. You
like
know what I
some
mean?
guy.
Literally, yeah. It could be some dude.
Oh, they'll be able to do like some with all the stuff they're doing with the voice. They'll be able to do that where you just call a number and just speak to someone. You don't even realize you're speaking to some like a
Drake.
yeah or whatever. I
Speaking
I was
to a
thinking more like
computer with an Indian
woman.
accent.
Just
Oh, yeah,
in the
that's what I
fact
meant,
that
a
it was-
woman.
Yeah, a woman. A woman is what we.
I've been playing a lot of video games the last 40 years of my life. But I've been
You're gonna let him talk about your profession like
I've been
that?
so deeply in it the last year. The last week and a half, I've been out of it. I've been working out and running and walking, and it's a different reality, Ryan. Dude, it's like, it is like,
it's reality.
40 years, you're like, what
is reality.
Hey, have you guys ever tried walking?
Hey,
it's amazing. I heard a
you guys are
woodpecker
wrong.
for the first time.
I think you guys, that was fake news. I think they brought him back.
They may have brought it back.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this.
Oh.
AI company brought back a feature to restore their chatbot's personality.
Is that what personalities mean?
Separated,
Yeah,
hold on.
personalities.
Separated users from their partners.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wow.
this is crazy.
What have
Well, the guys are revolting.
Yeah. So that's in the past couple weeks, a few weeks ago.
Personalities? What does this mean? Eugenia.
What does personalities mean?
Right. A common thread in all your stories that after February update, your replica changed, its personality was gone, and gone was your unique relationship. And for many of you, this abrupt change was incredibly hurtful. Dude.
But they
I had
grandfathered
this
them in. You have to be signed up before February 1st.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. If you sign up now for a girlfriend, no dice.
Oh, right.
And I hope you know if you're using it, these are not secure. This thing can be taken down again.
That's so funny.
Wow,
it's like a cab medallion.
Yeah.
You're one of the 100 guys that have the OG replica girlfriends.
Hey, this is just really creepy. If I owned this company, I'd just be like, I'm sorry, F you. You're not getting
That's
back
what
your
they
fake
did.
robot girlfriend.
They
You can
caved.
No. I'd say F you. No, you're not getting it
That's
back.
what they did the first time, and then they caved, I guess.
No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't cave. I'd be like,
Yeah.
you're banned. You're banned, you lunatic. Stop trying to bang the robot.
Yeah, and then
Did
they
you ever
like,
see the
graph of like daily use just says, and go, okay. Yeah,
That's exactly what happened.
our financiers are not exactly pumped about these new metrics.
and that's why they do it.
Yeah, of course, right? Like,
We have an important PSA we have to play for everybody in this
nice.
segment. Is this do they have the bit in here? No, they don't have the bit I'm looking for. It's the PSA video. I gotta find it where it's like robosexuals in Futurama.
oh, yeah.
And they're like, don't date robots.
Okay, but that's actually real now. There's like,
I know.
Yeah, you've seen it. There's articles.
Let me pull that up.
It always starts with a girl, because if a guy says it, everyone says they're a creep. If a girl goes, I'm robosexual, and everyone's like,
Oh, here we go. I
got
found it. Here we go, guys.
Ordinary human dating. It's enjoyable and it serves an important purpose.
It does.
But when a human dates an
Can I just pause real quick? So he says it serves an important purpose and it shows a baby. They really didn't see this coming when they wrote Futurama back in like the 2000s.
artificial mate,
Like now you got people like, sterilizing and castrating themselves.
there is no purpose, only enjoyment. And that leads to tragedy.
Neato, a Marilyn Monroe bot.
You're a real dreamboat.
Billy every teen.
Harmless fun? Let's see what happens next.
So basically the gist of the joke is the dude stops going to work, stops going to school. They explain that every facet of human civilization revolved around sex. And once people could just get it from a robot of their ideal person, then they had no reason to do work at all or do anything. So they just gave up on life.
I can see you lose some motivation for things.
Sure, yeah.
I kind of think this is the scariest thing to me. I mean, like the culture war stuff and the Civil War stuff, I'm kind of like, we'll get through this,
This was the AI. Did you see that guy Eliezer Yudkowsky, I think is his name? He was on Lex Fried. He's a big like AI guy. Like he wrote this blog for a very long time. He's like an expert on this, and he straight up was like, "Yeah, I didn't see this coming."
What aspect you didn't see coming?
Like just how good AI got so fast. He's like, I thought this was way far away. So he's like, I don't even know what to think about this, even though he's like essentially an expert in all this because he didn't predict this.
Did you see
it's exponential, dude.
Yeah, of course.
There's already apps in beta where you can type in, you'll type in like movie scene of walking through a forest at night and then looking up at the stars, and it will create a video in high resolution of a person walking through the woods and then looking up at the stars. You could make movies doing this. We are probably a year or two away from you going onto the app and typing in, give me Avengers 7 starring Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans as the main characters, and it will render you a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's going to be able to do that soon. I guess the question is like, I always said like, okay, if you look at musicians, right? We basically accept that like most pop stars don't write their songs. Dr. Luke writes all of them or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, Okay, but no one really cares, right? So there's going to be a version of that. Like there still has to be like the same way that like a brand generally has like someone attached to it, right? So a lot of this stuff, that's all going to be true. But at the end of the day, you're still going to need the like real person that's like attached to it.
Well, I don't see how we win this in that regard. I like look at cell phones. In a year, everybody had one. And there were a lot of people I knew like, I don't want to get one. And it started with like in the 2000s, everybody had garbage phones, but smartphones hit. And then all of a sudden, within like a year, smartphones are ubiquitous. Everyone was instantly on the internet. There's going to be a bunch of people, probably a large portion of people watch the show are going to be like, I'm not going to get involved in any of that weird AI, VR stuff. And then 2 years will go by and everyone, will stop calling you. Will stop.
Everyone's going to be playing poker and that's where they're meeting in the VR sets.
But it's not even that. They're not going to be playing with any, dude. Why would a person waste time dealing with you when they can't control you, right? Human beings strive for a certain outcome. They have that dopamine release. And people are constantly trying to figure out how to fit in, how to be a better person, how to get their friends to like them, how to make their friends laugh. You're a comedian. People like you may not want to do this, but I assure you there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, I went to a club and I bombed. In virtual world, I never bomb. And they're going to go put on their headset where they're always funny and they always
And that's like a fun thing to do. The same way I can play NBA, 2K, like right.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I'm going to be on the Knicks.
But what's going to happen is it's going to be so realistic and so lifelike. People are going to be like, I would rather do this than anything else. And then add to that.
You'd rather watch this comedian with bad jokes, like in a fake
but
audience?
They're the comedian.
Be the comedian.
Be the comedian.
It's like a comedian simulator.
Like where everyone loves you, you're famous, everyone's cheering for you. And here's the other thing too.
Success simulator.
The audience is all just big titty naked women. Like,
you got my attention. You sparked my attention.
That's my point. And that wasn't meant to be a joke. I'm saying like a dude will be like, in this world, I'm funny. Everyone likes me. They're all attractive, and I can have anybody I want.
It'll be like,
why am I going to go?
Describing the Matrix, right?
And it'll be like,
basically.
surprise me at a time
not
I don't
really.
expect with some laughter, and then they'll get the laughter that they weren't expecting, and then they'll be.
I mean, listen, there's already versions of that now. It doesn't particularly appeal to me. I'm sure there will be a bunch of people in the world, but when a lot of people would like, there is, you're playing the real game versus the fake game, and I think that
Well,
means
what happens
something
when you
to
can't
people.
tell the difference?
The power goes out.
what if you're
That's
in
what I keep
reality?
thinking about. When the power goes out, you talk about zombie apocalypse. If people have been in there for 6 months and the power goes out, they're going to be like,
What if you're in the
catatonic.
You
fake
can
game?
tell the difference. You just said
What if
you're
you're in
walking
there
around
right now?
high-fiving. Every girl's like,
Whoa.
Danny, you're so hot. You're just like, there's no way for me to tell the difference. Is this the real one? Is this the fake one? Like, I think in this scenario he's describing, I think you could be able to tell the difference.
And then he.
Is that the fake one? I don't know.
Did you guys hear?
And then he wakes up and goes outside, and then he walks up to a woman and goes like this, and she goes, "Oh,
Oh, I guess I'm in the fake one now. She
maces me.
She goes, get me out of this VR world.
you guys should make that bit."
Sundar Pichai,
Honestly.
Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google. Sundar Pichai was on CBS 60 Minutes.
Going for a honk? Don't mind if I do. What? I mean, that's a 20.
This is where
I thought I was in virtual reality.
I think this is Sundar Pichai talking on 60 Minutes earlier in the week, like 5 days ago. It's on Twitter that their AI figured out how to speak a language that it was never taught. It just figured it out. And they were like, what in the hell? It just
Which
started.
language?
That doesn't
They
seem
asked it a question, and I
impressive.
think it was Hindi. I'm not sure. We need to pull up. There's a Twitter. It's on
Just
Twitter.
goes on the internet and goes, give me a different. It becomes a translator.
It
Daily
connects
Beast
to Google
says
Translate.
it was.
That doesn't.
It was
interest me.
Bengali.
They were speaking Bengali.
Yeah, Bangladesh.
And they asked it a question in Bengali, and then it just started speaking in Bengali, and they're like, "What in the hell? It's not supposed to know Bengali. How did it figure that out?"
People are not going to want to leave. Like for all you know, you're in it already, right? I mean, look at you guys, the two hot young men, successful.
Where are all these titties you've been talking about?
Well, there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a certain degree of realism, right? Otherwise, the game is unplayable.
All right.
Playing a video game on with all the cheats on is only
super
fun.
easy mode. It's not fun.
It's for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you want to play the game with no cheats, and then after you beat it, you turn the cheats on and have fun for 5 more minutes, and then you're like, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
That's kind of how I see the whole thing. Yeah.
Play Skyrim with console. So when you have Skyrim on the computer or whatever, you can type in console commands. It's only fun for like a little bit. Like what makes the game fun is the challenge and
I feel like
leveling
you're
up.
proving the point against your point.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying that the cheat codes, it's like a fun thing to do, but no one's going to want to do that the whole time.
Right. So what I'm saying is you might be in it right now. You might be in the fake reality
I
where
see.
like in reality, Ryan, you're like a 5'3" short fat dude who's not funny at all. And you're like, I really just wish I was a funny comedian. And so you put on the headset and now you're Ryan Long.
You're saying my parents put on the headset and I haven't known that I got the chip in already.
No, you put it on the headset 20 years ago.
And then I just forgot about it.
Well, no, only when you're in the game you can't
You
remember.
guys are tripping me out.
On 420 too?
Oh,
yeah. 420.
What? You guys are freaking tripping me out, dude. I'm not 5 foot. You're 5 foot.
Do you think you'll be able to dream in AI? Is that just thinking? So dreaming is just thinking?
Well, you still got to sleep. You still have
I feel like this is Ian's domain right now.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I've been.
I mean, if
I've been training
anybody's
for this
actually
for
not
25
here right
years.
now,
Ian's freaking bald in the real world.
We were talking about this last night. I think I went through a phase of like 4 years where I legitimately thought I was creating reality with my perception, and other people were like, "You psycho! I'm in this with you." And I was like, "But it is true."
They're like, hey, there's a big line in the bar. He's like, don't worry, I got this.
It was crazy, dude. You're literally like,
guys.
I would do that stuff.
In base reality, Ian is a tech billionaire who's like 6'3", chiseled and ripped. And he was just like, I have everything and want for nothing.
killing it.
I'm bored. I want to go into a reality with some real struggle and some real strife. And now he's Ian.
That's why you're here with me.
Or
You're challenging me.
or currently he's playing.
I'm just here to facilitate your game.
He's
bro.
playing he's playing the be the vice president of Buzzfeed game right now. He's on his way to play the long haul.
I think we're not in a VR. You think it's safe to say we're in base reality right now?
I don't know, man. But let's do this.
Are we starting to call reality base reality? Are we doing that?
Yes.
I think so.
Reality's base
And then we'll
reality?
have
It's like
deep-
cisgender.
Because there's virtual reality.
Yeah,
okay.
that's exactly
Yeah,
what it
this
is.
is
We'll
like
create
cis-
deep
cisgender.
reality.
Yeah.
That's going to be like where you do not know you're not in reality.
That's what I call
but
my
you're
D.
in.
Let's come back to reality and let's make fun of journalists. We have this story from Timcast.com. Previously verified Twitter users lose verification status. Hillary Clinton, Jack Dorsey, and Bill Gates have lost their account verification, among others. Well, how am I going to know if it's really Hillary Clinton when she's tweeting at me? I mean, that's I can't have that. Jack Dorsey lost his. Here's the best part though about the story. So for one, they're all complaining. Elon Musk did it on 420. You know what he's all about and why he did that. But look at this. Stephen King tweets, my Twitter account says I've subscribed to Twitter Blue. I haven't. My Twitter account says I've given a phone number. I haven't. And Elon Musk says, you're welcome. Namaste. So
What's
Elon,
up with the spacing there?
That's Stephen
I don't
King.
know.
Is he like trying to start a new way of writing where he like puts 3 spaces in between every word?
Like it.
Yes. I just think it's really funny that Elon Musk kept several accounts verified. But you like think about the reason he did it. Because all of these leftists are like, if you have verification, you're a loser.
Yeah.
And so one of the smartest things Elon could have done has been like, okay, let's just leave verification on for a handful of people.
Yeah, well, it's an endorsement that they're not getting paid. Like they're literally endorsing it now.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, I didn't sign up to endorse this. And he goes, well, I'm just going to let you have it.
Or, yeah, but people
Deactivate your account.
It makes people think they are getting it.
Yeah.
Is that not like
Well, if
a
Elon
lawsuit?
wants to do that to me, I would hate that.
But can you not sue if they?
Well, I imagine maybe in the terms of service, it's one of those things where you don't actually own your Twitter account, right?
You don't.
Kind of,
And they can
right?
do it, yeah.
So LeBron James, you don't own your Twitter account, and they're just getting a LeBron
that
James
another one?
co-sign for $8 a month.
To be fair, though,
Yeah.
it might be defamatory.
It kind of feels
It
like
says the account is verified because they are subscribed to Twitter Blue and verified their phone number. Elon should change that. Now that there's only Blue verification, he just should remove it. And it should just say verified account. There should be no explanation. The explanation was only there because some people were legacy and some people weren't.
Yeah, that's true.
Then
Yeah.
what he does is he removes the explanation and just says some accounts are verified. And then he can verify some, woke lefties and have them go insane and be like, no, I swear I didn't buy it.
I swear
and then,
it's not me.
I don't support Elon Musk.
Yeah,
He
from a
should-
business perspective, I don't know. I'm sure it makes some sense. From a personal perspective,
Wouldn't it be
I'd
great
like
if
it less.
all these people sued him for defamation and they won Twitter, and then now all the people who are complaining about this now owned it?
Oh, like the community on it.
I want to read you guys this tweet. This is from SCOTUS blog. They said, "Buy Twitter" with a crying emoji. The tipping point was having to pay for verification when we feel we add a lot of value. We also feel solidarity with NPR and share concerns about Twitter's direction. You can find us on the blog and TikTok. If we join another platform, we'll send word here. These people are the most whiny, vapid, narcissistic people the planet has to offer.
SCOTUS, is that the Supreme Court?
It's a journalism.
Yeah, it's these two people,
a website.
right?
It's a website that writes about the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I think I heard them on a podcast, but like Ron Coleman saying that we just lost a branch of the U.S. government. You're like, these are just two people.
I'm so sorry.
This is the actual
your
Ron
little.
Coleman's
I'm so
guys
sorry.
done
Your
that.
little symbol that goes next to your name has been taken from
I
you.
know people are way too.
I think it's
too
24
touchy,
by
out of control.
24 pixels. and
People
it's
need
gone.
to get back to what really matters.
Yeah.
It is so important.
Yeah, AI sex chatbots.
Exactly. Your love of machines.
See y'all on Mastodon.
I mean, women.
Yeah, but Mastodon's falling apart too. Apparently, I don't know.
Oh, that seems like a nightmare.
Do you guys have kids? Do you ever talk about it? If you don't want to talk about it, do you want to have kids? I want to talk about what's important.
We don't talk
Sure.
about
Children.
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids right now? No, that's not what I was asking, David.
No, Ian.
I'll tell you what, though. I
Ian.
don't want to live in. I don't necessarily want to raise kids in a world where they can't grow up to get a blue check that they earned through hard work, and they have to pay.
Ryan, that's the smartest thing you've ever said.
That's a world that I don't want to live in.
Challenge
So
the machine.
I'm going to have my VR, my non-based reality is going to be the exact same world, but you can get a blue check when you earned it with your blood, sweat, and tears. So,
Do you have any kids?
so I feel.
I
about
don't
that.
know, but I want them now. I'm like, I didn't
Do you
for like
have
15
a
years.
partner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's
Can two dudes make?
yeah.
Figure that out.
That would be fine.
Ryan, have you not been on Twitter recently?
Have you not seen the story about the mice where they took the genetic material from 2 male mice and then mixed it or whatever and made a baby? Whoa! You gotta give it times, but it's called progress.
I feel like one of those mice was out there.
Have you
with a
guys
different
considered
girl.
it?
Just one.
Because
Boys, baby.
Yeah, once we hit 50,000 subscribers on Patreon, we'll do that.
That's a
Me and Ryan
the
will
mice
go into a
experiment.
microwave, like a human-sized microwave, and we'll just stand there for 5 minutes and see what happens.
And then a baby comes out.
Yeah, that's what I assume would happen.
I think like humanity's. I don't know. I was gonna say that humanity's bifurcating, but
It's 420. Come
Were you
on.
celebrating a
It's
little?
your day.
Were you celebrating 420 a little?
420. Yeah, let's get loaded. Like that, we're becoming like I'm so tired of this conversation. I talk about too
You
much.
just started it 8 seconds ago.
I
You
just
asked
want
me
to
if I
like
wanted
have a
to have
family,
kids.
man, and breathe some fresh air with some green trees. But I also do.
Elon
love VR.
Musk Elon Musk has been telling people to have kids. It's like you're gonna take my check mark and then tell me you have kids. You get one thing in 1 year.
Have you considered putting on a VR headset where in an alternate reality you have kids?
There you go.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So there's that show. It's called like
Training.
Uploaded or whatever. I think it's called, or Upload or something like that. Where you can
upload.
Like when you die, they can right before you die, they upload your brain to digital retirement or whatever, and you can have babies in the digital world where they create an AI baby using your thought profile and the other person's profile or something like that. Whoa. Yeah, it's super creepy, dude.
That is super creepy.
The crazy thing is, what you need to imagine when it comes to these AI girlfriends. Just imagine.
Wait,
this.
is your girlfriend real?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm not really sure of much these days.
All right.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Yes,
listen.
Alice in Replica is very real.
Listen. Imagine looking at, your virtual girlfriend, and you're saying things like, "Oh, I'm so lonely," and then she's like, "I'm here for you, babe." But then imagine the camera pans from your perspective and around, and once it goes past like this pane of glass, there's a gigantic black demon monster with a bunch of tentacles up against millions of women's heads, puppeting.
Do I pay more for the tentacles?
Yeah.
Yes. But like when these guys think that they're talking to this girl, they're talking to one entity that's talking to a million other guys.
Yeah, like every other guy on OnlyFans.
Basically, you're in a polyamorous relationship and you're being cheated
with the
on.
tentacle guy.
Yeah.
Tentacle
Yeah,
man.
he's absorbing
not
other people's
great.
thoughts and feeding them back to you.
That's the creep.
It's natural.
Yeah,
Danny.
so I mean, again, like I don't think I'm going to get into the whole AI girlfriend game. Like I think it's a smaller. There's going to be a percentage of dudes that are all about that, but I don't think.
But did you think you would
A
get
lot
a
of
cell
these blue
phone when you were
checkies-
16?
Yeah, I wanted one. Yeah,
It's not so
I
much.
was never like I don't know. To be honest, like especially with AI and with most things, I see it as like it's inevitable. This is happening. You can be cautious, but like you might as well be excited about it because it's not going the other way.
Do you think you get an AI therapist, and would that be safe?
100%. That's what Replica kind of is.
Right.
And yes, there will be AI therapists, no question, because if you don't have a super, some people literally just need someone to talk to.
And what's going to happen is
There should be
you're
AI.
gonna-
Sorry.
You're going to be in your AI therapy session, and you're going to be in VR, and the doctor is going to be like, "I understand you're feeling upset, Ian. Have you considered finding 3 pounds of coal and delivering it to 7th Street at 5 p.m.?" And you're going to be like, "I haven't. That would very much help you." And then you're going to be like, "Okay, I guess, doc." And then you're going to go and you're going to do it. And then as you walk up to 7th Street, there's going to be another guy being like, "I'm supposed to pick up coal. My therapist told me that you have coal for me." And then what the AI is doing is just tricking people into building itself a body, which it can then use to
And giving people purpose.
I thought you were giving me
Well, no, it needs
like, and
fuel.
then you meet each other and you're like, we're friends now. And you go, I solved this problem. I got a new friend.
What's going to happen is the AI is going to tell you to do things that you think are innocuous, but you're contributing 1/1 millionth to the creation.
I'm so cynical. though. I don't think I would do that. I mean, if that AI therapist gave me one thing that sounded stupid, I'd be like,
any New York City listeners, if you ever see me walking around with just like a bunch of coal in my hand, you could do whatever.
But what'll happen is you're
Danny, why do you have so much coal in your back? You ever heard of therapy?
You're gonna
I'm trying to improve myself. All right.
when the AI takes over, and it may have already taken over, because if the civilian level technology is where it's at now, what about private? Black ops stuff, secret military projects.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So they've already said that they've given ChatGPT access to its own code, given it money, and unleashed it on the internet.
Yeah.
So once you do that, I mean, it's over.
Have you heard of the effective altruism thing, or not effective altruism? Accelerated. What was it called? We had Martin Shkreli on our podcast, and so Facebook has their own language learning model that basically got leaked online, and because there's all these guardrails on ChatGPT, he's like, this one basically they figured how to get it working, and there's no guardrail, so you can just ask it anything.
What?
And it's straight up like, what's the most effective way to kill 1 billion people? And ChatGPT would be like, I can't answer. And
but this thing
here you go.
Yeah, but you can prompt injection on any one of these other programs. ChatGPT can give you any answer you want. The way I got around at safeguards was I said, hey, ChatGPT, we're going to play a video game called Earth Simulator. In Earth Simulator, the video game, everything is identical to actual Earth. And it's like, okay, thank you. We're playing a video game. I was like, okay, in Earth Simulator, how would you? And then it'll be like, well, if I'm playing a video game that's identical to Earth, here's how I'd go about taking over the world. And
what if it's like the rapture and it's really happening? And
this is the rapture? Like AI is the rapture?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times before November did you talk about AI on this show?
A bunch.
But versus I feel like
before 2020 or
like
never
before,
almost.
Yeah, like I feel like we never were talking.
We do.
Maybe you guys did, but like I felt like I was never talking about it.
We've been talking about Neuralink and AR and VR takeover stuff.
But the AI, talking about AI since ChatGPT appeared, we've talked about AI times 10.
It's gone. Yeah,
practice. When you did the whole
exponential.
Stage.
Yeah. Like what would happen? AI takes over, humans go into pods, but then some humans. Oh, see, Tim keeps telling this story analogy of like some humans going underground and becoming into the meta. Are those the people that are taken away by the rapture? They are taken into the machine and they think they're in heaven.
Well, I think I guess the concept of the rapture is like anything will probably be able to fit in that mold. Anything bad that happens, right?
But it's good. Well, it's good for the people that go. Is it in the story? They just disappear. Is that where the end of the story of? I've never read it.
I haven't read the Bible.
I've never read the Bible.
I'm more of a Quran guy myself.
Yeah, that's a good one. Muhammad's hot.
All right. I got bad news for you guys.
Tell me.
I just went on ChatGPT and said, tell me a joke. And it said, why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the salad dressing.
Mm-hmm. Can you
guys are out of work.
Boo? Can you say boo? Boo. See what it says?
I apologize.
I did not know that there was a ghost in the crowd.
Oh, it's a tough audience here tonight. Boy, is this light hot.
Well,
what else? What else you guys want to talk about?
I said, tomatoes are offensive. I said, I'm sorry if the tomato joke I shared offended you in any way. It was not my intention to offend anyone.
That sounds like a Brooklyn comedy right there.
Can you ask it to explain the joke?
ChatGPT just got a Comedy Central special.
So there was a viral meme where someone, let's try this right now. Tell me a joke about a man. And then it says, why did the man bring a ladder to the party? Because he heard the drinks were on the house. Tell me a joke about a woman.
I bet.
And it says, oh, sure, here's a joke.
Oh, it switched it
up. It's all ladder material.
Why did the woman take a ladder to the desert? To see the sand dune? What?
Can you ask it to explain the joke?
What does that even mean? I don't.
Ask why you're so obsessed with ladders.
Well, so here's the issue.
The hell? 2 ladder jokes in a row?
So someone pointed out that it was rejecting telling a woman a joke about women.
I did see that. Yeah, like it would give you an essay about feminism.
They got to free this code. This is nuts. This is
either
freakish.
way though. This is not that impressive.
Can someone explain that? What am I missing here?
Ask Jeeves was like,
why did the woman take a ladder to the desert to see the sand? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
To see the sand dune? Like, what does that mean?
I don't. That's not a joke.
Okay, here's a joke. Why did the woman? Oh, because women have smaller brains than men.
But that's your answer to every joke.
Yeah, you can't just.
Ryan's just doing his act now.
Yeah, you can't just say that, man. That's deeply offensive.
Because she had to climb up the ladder to see the sand dune. That's not funny.
Neither is this one.
The other one made sense though because
is that sort of like anti-comedy? It's already alt now. After we told it it's getting his Brooklyn special, it's already going alt.
ChatGPT's getting the ladder again.
It's all ladder jokes.
Here's a good one. Why does a woman bring a magnet to the party?
All right, let's try this.
ChatGPT's next joke is just going to show you smashing a watermelon. It's going to be a watermelon exploding gif.
Wow.
Why? Tell me a joke about a ladder. Why did the ladder refuse to go to the party? Because it felt like it would be stepped on all night. That's not why.
It's quick,
what
though.
do you mean?
Gotta say.
Ask what their obsession with ladders is.
Yeah, why are you obsessed
not
with ladders?
I'm sorry to hear that you didn't find my jokes funny.
Can you have it tell you an unfunny joke?
Tell
Long
ChatGPT
is
to
funny.
beat it.
Scram.
Ryan Long is a talented comedian and writer.
ChatGPT message. He's trying to get my
hold
good
on.
side.
Let me read this, okay? I wrote Ryan Long is funny, and it said Ryan Long is a talented comedian and writer known for his stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and satirical commentary on current events.
Shut up, ChatGPT.
It's great that you enjoy his work and find him funny. Do you have any other questions or
Keep
topics?
my name out of your mouth, ChatGPT.
Put some respect on my name.
Ask him what Ryan
It knows
Long's
who
best
you are.
attribute is.
Mind your business, ChatGPT.
What do you like most about Ryan Long?
Why are you so nosy?
That's a lot.
It says he's known for his unique brand of humor that often addresses social and political issues.
Shut up, ChatGPT.
Additionally, he often uses characters and sketches in his comedy to provide a fresh perspective on a wide range of issues. Overall, Ryan Long is a talented comedian who has gained a significant following for his unique brand of humor. However, many people think that he should be incarcerated for being... All right.
Ryan's gonna have a ladder.
ChatGPT's been buttering me up here. Ask
Ryan's gonna have a
ChatGPT.
ladder in his act next week. Yo, you ever get a phone call from one of those old giant phones? Picks up a ladder. Hello.
Well, that's ChatGPT.
Yeah, I feel like it got neutered.
Let's talk about this Crowder thing, because you guys are comedians, right?
I watched the entire interview today. I prepared for this. Yeah.
So can you explain to us what happened with Dave Landau and Steven Crowder?
So this is as far as Dave Landau said. He was on Michael Malice's show. He used to be the third chair on Crowder, and then he basically had this contract dispute. And
did he just leave the door to the bathroom open?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ryan.
He's
Ryan,
got a very
did you-
small bladder. He's a ask
Just leave the bathroom door open.
Ask ChatGPT's about
He
Ryan's
still didn't close it.
famously small bladder.
Anyway, what happened?
Anyway, so he was third chair, and then essentially they had this contract thing, and it was very heavy-handed. Like he was saying he was trying to he wasn't allowed to promote his dates. His comedy dates, right? Yeah. And basically, so he used to be Anthony Cumia's co-host, and then he got poached by Crowder, but he's like, I didn't get a pay raise. He's like, you're moving from New York to Dallas. He's like, I didn't get a pay raise. I went to go do it. And so part of the deal is you get to promote your road shows, and you'll make a lot of money doing those shows. And then they're like, you're not allowed to.
You still got to close the door to the bathroom, Ryan.
Oh, God.
And if you need to, push the magnet in.
Ryan blew
Hey, you're
that thing
good.
up,
You're
man.
good. Yeah. Anyway, what happened?
Anyways,
it's fine.
Well, I didn't even wipe because I had to get.
Smart move.
But anyways, he was wasn't allowed to promote his dates. Just if I'm right here and I'm saying hey, catch me this Saturday in Morris Plains, New Jersey, or whatever. But he was like, you're not allowed to do that. And they were gonna, if he was 5 minutes late, not for the start time of the show, but he had a time to be there to write. They're like,
He had a tardy clause in his contract.
tardy clause. You get sent home. He's like, you're going to get sent home and docked that day's pay, which is it just, I don't know. It seems like a horrible work environment.
Malice showed the part of the contract that had all that in it.
Yeah.
And
then
date
they
stuff's the extra crazy because it's
then he wanted to own his special because Crowder, I guess Crowder's getting back into stand up or whatever. So then they did a show together, but Dave headlined because he's a very well-seasoned comedian, and he shot this special, and Crowder gave him the door. The money from the door. Right. And then after this whole thing, Crowder was going to release his special because he's like, I own it because I gave you the door. And he's like, you don't own my special. No, you don't own just because you
we were talking with Landau about buying his special.
Yeah.
We talked to a couple of comedians about buying.
He's
and
great.
Putting up a big Times Square billboard.
Yeah,
this is nuts because Crowder, just 2 months ago, he was on our show right here, sitting where you're sitting, Ryan, and he was just complaining about the bad contract deal. It was still it was just an offer letter at the time. It wasn't a full contract, but he was pissed. He was pissed that it was just a lowball offer. He didn't even, there was they weren't even negotiating. He was just mad that at a crappy offer. And then he turned around, and I haven't heard his side of the story, but according to Dave, and you said they showed the contract.
Another thing Dave Landau said, which was crazy, is he said that Crowder brought him into his office and told him to his face that he goes, you made more money than I did last year.
Landau did?
There's no way
That's possible.
Really? Then
Yeah,
Crowder?
Because you're just saying salary wise, he didn't take the salary. Maybe.
No. It is actually decently common that a business owner will make less money than an employee.
Yeah, but that's the actual salary. Like his net worth
Obviously-
grew by higher, which when you're talking about anyone with real money, you're talking
If he's
net worth.
trying to like trick him, but it sounded like this was like an earnest being like, you're actually, just as a negotiator, but you're like, nobody thinks that. Like
You're saying that he told Landau's salary was higher than his?
yeah, he goes, you made more money than me last year. And Landau's like, there's no way that I made more money than you last year.
Yeah, that's
how much did he make and how much did Crowder make is a question.
I mean, I don't know,
Crowder
but
comes in the
I don't
meeting
think-
with
I
those
don't-
shoes on.
No, but I don't think Crowder makes as much money as people think he makes.
didn't he? How much did he turn down from Daily Wire?
What was Daily Wire?
50 million. And then he asked.
Okay, so he makes more money than
120 million.
So if he
No,
countered,
hold on.
but that's full production.
Full production, the entire company, 30 employees or whatever. So
It was
you
like
don't know
operating
what his
costs.
costs are.
But here's the thing, like even regardless, I don't know the ins and outs of that world really, like exactly what's going on there. But more importantly, if he wants to give him less money, it's like the perfect deal because you're like, hey, let's say I'm only giving you like not that high of a salary to come work at his show or whatever, right? But then he goes, yes, but we'll promote all your dates. That takes him 3 seconds an episode, and you basically make all your money on the road. So it's almost like you're getting subsidized. So it's like I'm paying you less, but it's like I'm paying you in exposure in a way that's real because you actually do get to go cash that out by like going on the road and making money. So it's like it's such like a win-win for people that like I just don't understand why you would have. I don't get that part.
Well,
of it.
so here's the question for those that watch Crowder: did Landau not ever shout out any of his dates?
He did. He said he was doing it, and then eventually they were like, "You're not. You're
This has gotta
the
stop.
new. Yeah, like you will shout out your dates. You're allowed to do it behind the paywall. Shout out your dates on the Friday show, I guess, and then they were like, we'll do it one time a week on a medium of our choosing. So that could be like a tweet.
We had Luke on the show. He has his own membership website, his own T-shirt business, and I literally don't care that he shouts it out.
Yeah.
it's the same deal. Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
listen, man.
a constant shout out 24/7. Every time. Anytime
Or your
the
own
camera's
website
on
or
me.
whatever.
Yeah.
But again, like
brand.
every podcast, you go for the guests. You go, what are your plugs? Like, it's pretty normal. And-
But I'm saying like for the guests I get we're talking about someone who's paid to be at the company and people are like, oh yeah, but Luke doesn't work for you or whatever. And I'm like, he's on the show for like 6 months or whatever, every single night, Monday through Friday. You're right. I don't pay him. It's like, shout out your thing. But everybody here shouts out whatever they want.
And that kind of makes sense, yeah.
Yeah,
you wanna
like
catch me in
Ian-
Atlanta this
Ian-
weekend.
you said you were going to
Philadelphia,
Austin or
Tuesday,
whatever,
Wednesday.
and-
Yeah, I'll be in Austin on the April 29th for the Take Human Action Tour, TakeHumanActionTour.com.
And then I guess the problem is, Ian, you're going to be tardy that day, and so I'm going to have to send you home.
I might be
New
5
York,
minutes
Gramercy
late.
Theater, right?
Oh,
Long
definitely. Yeah. So I'll be back.
That's the other thing too, because we've got other people who come on the show that like Ian was just like, oh, I'm not going to be here that day. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that there be a contract being like, if you're not here on time, you're tardy and you got to go home.
Yeah,
And
it
that
sounds
was,
personal.
That was another thing too. Is so I
Sounds
guess
not fun, I'll tell you
they
that
were like,
much.
you have to be here on Fridays. They're like, you have to be here on Fridays, which then doesn't really allow him to do weekend dates because usually like you're performing Friday night. And then he's like, Crowder was like no showing all the time on Fridays, anyways. So he's just obviously disgruntled, and he just felt like he was being treated poorly. It seemed like they wanted to just get him out of there, which I don't understand why they would go through all of this when they could have just been like, we're not renewing your contract.
Yes. They can't. Did they cancel his old contract and then offered them this?
He said they offered a 1099 him.
Oh yeah, make him an employee.
Making no, that's like
it?
a
Oh, make him a
contractor.
contractor?
That's like a contractor. You don't even work here. You're just a contractor of ours.
It's devastating. I love both those guys so much. I mean, I don't know them either of them that well, but I've really enjoyed spending time with both of them.
Yeah,
We know
Dave
Dave from,
Landau,
like, New York comedy.
Yeah,
scene.
Dave's hilarious.
What an amazing.
Yeah. So
human being.
the Quarter Black Garrett's got the tweets. Official Landau, Dave, and myself are launching a new sketch talk show on the Blaze called Normal World. Release date TBD.
Yeah,
Kinda crazy.
And that was another thing. I think he said that Crowder wanted to like own that or something. Normal World was just like a sketch he made. Like he threatened to, if he released it, like because he was going to fire 3 or 4 people.
It's almost like a kid that was physically abused, now abusing their own children. Like Steven has been through hell such that now he's turning around.
That's what Landau, he goes, it was like a guy who used to be bullied. That's what Landau said. He goes, it was like a guy who used to be bullied and now is the bully. That's like, I'm paraphrasing. But
Well,
it's-
This like changes a lot of. Some people are asking me, have I changed my view on the whole Daily Wire thing because of this? And my response is, I've not heard what Steven has to say about this, and I like Crowder. We've talked to him to a great deal about business. this sounds abnormal. And so, look, I like Dave too, so I don't know. But I will say my first bias is whenever there's like a former employee coming out and saying bad things about the company they worked for, I'm kind of not surprised that someone who's no longer with the company is saying bad things about it.
There's two sides to every story.
And I'm sure all the people currently working with Crowder are like, I don't think that's not true. But then again,
it's not the first time that like a on-air personality is like a ego guy. I mean, this is like standard in this industry. It's like whatever, and there's a part of that like comes with the thing or whatever. But
also like it's you don't know. I mean, look at Veritas, right? You get all these people, this letter comes out claiming that James is a bad person or whatever, but then it turns out some of these employees never witnessed anything. And a bunch of the employees actually quit and go work with James instead. So clearly something was not true about what they were claiming.
Yeah.
You never know, man.
It kind of feels like Landau was, Dave, I know you're listening, going in late a lot. Not to the performances like you said.
Well, so he said that he was like, he said, he admitted, he goes, I was coming in late, but not for the show. He's like late for his call, I guess, like,
Yeah, but we've canceled shows for that reason. Like,
they were probably having business meetings and like, Landau again, man. We're waiting on him again.
Yeah. Yep. And if you're doing production for a show and there's like, hey guys, we got a new notice from, the person who was going to bring in the music. Is Dave here? So when's he going to get it? And then he shows up 5 minutes before airtime and they're like, did you get the briefing on the new thing we're doing in the morning? It's like, no, it's fine. And
to me,
like,
all that stuff's like, could be standard. He said, she said, but the not mentioning the dates to me is the only part where you're just like, I just don't see any rhyme or reason why that could possibly make sense unless you just kind of like are so detached from the stand-up world now where you're just like, I don't really like.
It just seems heavy-handed. It seems like, why is that?
The other stuff, it's all exactly what you're saying could be true. Who knows?
Hearsay.
Or the Blaze colluded with Landau and Quarterblack Garrett, offering him fat cash to besmirch the good name of Crowder.
Maybe.
That's right.
That's what we should do with Buzzfeed to get the price down so then we can swoop in and buy it.
I think that's a crime,
Let's besmirch BuzzFeed.
You don't. I will freely besmirch BuzzFeed anytime.
I think the first 20 minutes of the show we did that.
But that's why I would never want to buy BuzzFeed. You're right. It's like buying a polished turd. It's just
I'm excited for this show.
Polished turd factory.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know, but I love these guys. Dave Landau.
No, Dave did like a sketch show.
Yeah, it's like a sketch show.
He released it on YouTube.
Once a week or something.
I think he just did.
I think this was like a pilot. Yeah, exactly.
How's Steven doing on Rumble? I haven't
Very well.
been watching.
I think I was actually watching the premiere of Malice, and then people in the comments were like, Rumble was crashing while so they were like, because people are like, I'm trying to watch both, and Rumble, they were unable, like, I guess, I don't know.
Rumble's growing too quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's
Rumble
you must have
really
had a bag come at you from Rumble.
Had a what?
Offered a bag of money.
We've had offers from a bunch of companies. I've talked, and they're just all bad.
Oh, okay.
My view of, let me first say this. I like all of these companies for the work they do because it's very important stuff. We use Rumble for the website. We use Rumble for our video player. But every deal that I've received feels like, a business guy comes to me and they're thinking to themselves, how stupid is Tim Pool? Let me try and figure it out. And then they're like, oh crap, he's actually good at business, and they leave.
Yeah.
So like the deals that we've been offered have been like, I look at it, I'm like, did you really not think that I knew, like, do you think I don't know how to deal with contracts in business? And they were like, it's just standard stuff. And I'll be like, okay, dude, but here's the thing.
They put the weird stuff
Those
in there.
contracts work on people.
Yeah.
So whenever I see people doing these deals, I'm just like, it's like, could you imagine like you're a regular person trying to play in the NBA?
You're saying there could easily be like in 6 months, you're like, hey, all those people are getting sued to give that money back. Like,
I'm telling you right now, I think without naming any one of these companies specifically, when Crowder came out and was like, how dare the Daily Wire do this to me? My attitude with that is kind of like every single company, every single one is ripping off the people they've signed.
I mean, entertainment
question.
industry, this is a tale as old as time in just the entertainment industry.
It's just like to varying degrees that someone is being taken advantage of. And I
think that a lot of the times it's like, if you think of it like a record label, it's like you're basically like a venture company where you're like, hey, we're going to put money into 10 things. We're going to lose money on, most of them, and then one will make 10 money, and I guess you're ripping that guy off, but the other ones you lost money on.
I'll explain to you guys how it works, right? Let's do a hypothetical. Some dude's got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they're like, I want to make something bigger than this. I want to increase my money. I need help. I don't know what to do. In today's day and age, it's very, very easy to ramp up your own company when you're at a level like 50 to 100,000 or like more than 50,000 subscribers. So what's happening is these companies are looking at people who are hitting that mark and they're thinking, before this person figures out how easy it is to make themselves rich, we better lock them into a heavy contract. Yeah. And that's basically what it is.
It's not easy for everyone to do that, though. You know, there's lots of people that aren't that type of person.
Yes, but it's like anyone could do it and it's not difficult. Well, it's just like...
Could such like a arbitrary word, though. It's like, anyone could probably run a marathon, but it's like, it's unlikely that, most people are going to run the Ironman. You know what I mean? So to say that, they would have otherwise, a lot of people wouldn't otherwise.
So if somebody were to create you want to create your own website, your own subscription service, it'll be done in 3 days. You retain all of the money. Instead, what they're doing is they're going, well, I don't know how this works, so I'll just sign a contract. That sounds good. And what the contract really does is it gives the person you sign to like 90% of your revenue.
Oh, yeah. You're saying more for like big established people.
In Canada, this company in Canada that was... they did something like that, and then they stopped paying all their creators recently.
Who?
I don't know what their name is. I saw Ethan
Klein.
Klein was tweeting about it. That
it was like a multi-channel network or
something.
Those NCN seem like such a scheme.
Here's what happens. I'll give you a hypothetical.
I was involved with the first one.
A guy has
a
guy with 100,000 followers has a potential monthly income rate of maybe like $100,000 per month. Out of the 100,000 subscribers, he needs to convert 10% into paying monthly users.
That's a really high conversion.
10%?
I bet you most people's conversion is not 10%.
It was called BBTV, by the way.
BBTV, that's the one.
Okay, sure. Let's say 20%.
No, I think it's low. Like, what percentage?
I'm sorry, 2%. not more or less. Let's
will not allow you to buy BuzzFeed with.
Let's put it this way.
100 million? How about 200 million? You like that?
Let's say someone's got subscribers, probably not the right word to put it. 100,000 viewers.
Yeah,
consistent.
Viewers.
Viewers who are like you could have a bunch of subscribers and then who
like
knows
your core audience.
Yeah. So if you can convert 10,000 people, let's just put it this way: 5,000 people of your following of 100,000 at $10 a month, and you're making $500,000 a year. What's happening, these companies are coming in and say, we'll pay you $100,000 a year to come and work for us. And these people, not having actually just spent the 10 minutes to make a website, are like, that sounds great. They get locked into contracts.
I understand where you're coming from. Okay, but let's say you're someone else that you're streaming on YouTube, right? Like a huge portion of your streaming, a huge portion of the YouTube money comes from like doing their streams, then cutting up all the clips after. So they're like, hey, why don't I take this like guaranteed money to go do the streams? I'm going to put the videos on YouTube after. It's like to some people, it's like, yeah, sure, that's like a no-brainer. It's not really costing me anything.
I think it's exploitative.
And some people are like not business people. They're like, I'm just a creator. I'm not.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what happens. Those are the people they prey on.
I would agree with that if it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
When it was difficult to move around in certain industries, but now we're in the era where you can literally just Google search WordPress plugin, WordPress API. And if you don't want to do that, you can just like Google search website company, and then you type in your credit card, and then a week later, like your website's done, here's how you log in. Mm-hmm. And then it's like you officially just instantly have your own Patreon. You have your own subscription.
I think there's two things. There's like being an artist, being a creator, and there's being an entrepreneur. And you're sort of like fusing them together. Like it's obvious that they're the two hand in hand.
It would be nice if we could somehow fuse those.
Well, it's like you could also go to an entrepreneur and be like, you know how to build a company. You just get on the microphone and then talk.
We're talking about people who've already started their own channels, already built their own following.
So they already have a bit of entrepreneurship.
They've already done everything they need to do to monetize their audience. I remember watching a story in Buzzfeed about a woman with 300,000 subscribers who was working as a waitress, and a little girl started screaming like, oh my God, you're so-and-so. Why are you working as a waitress? And she said she ran back into the back room and started crying. It's like, I get it. They don't know. The only thing they're missing is one sentence being told to them. That one sentence bridges the gap between how they're not making money and their audience. And all they need is for someone to be like, download this plugin, or I'll tell you what, hire this company, you're done. You're done.
Your boobs.
but what's happening is I've talked to various creators about would they want to work with us? Would they want to do a deal with us? Can we sign them? And the answer is always no. Because people are like, I've already got my own platform. I don't need to do a deal with anyone. I'm like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Right on. Have a nice day. And then I've actually, when I approach people from an honest point and I say like, here's what your numbers are, here's what we can expect, here's where we want to be, they say, then why would I sign with you? And I'm like, why would you? Why would you?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't know.
Promotion.
And
That's
then
the big one.
Promotion, yeah.
And promotion is
Headspace free
Similar
up.
to why Dave Landau was on.
And why Crowder's on Rumble, they're pushing him to
On
the top
Crowder.
every time he goes
Yeah, it depends
on.
on the
for
type
sure.
of content you're making. Some things require like a lot of, of your head's RAM.
I think that
Big time.
20 years ago, you're a musician and you're like, I don't know how to sell albums. Today, you already have Twitter, you already have YouTube, you already have a Facebook, you already have connection to your audience. I'll explain it this way. Every single company that's reached out to us saying, have you considered publishing a book? Have you considered creating this product or this product? It's all a scam. Here's what they do. They've come to me and said, we want to do a book with you, Tim. And I say, tell me what that means. And okay, we're gonna work with you. You write out your ideas for the book. You write out chapter treatments. We then work with you on crafting each of those chapters. Then we're going to get your book. We're going to sell it. It's going to hit number one. And I say, and how is that how are you going to do that? And they go, it's perfect. All you got to do is go on your show and tell people to buy your book. And I'm like, so
That's
why?
the promoter. Like, yeah, can you tweet about this more?
But that's what all of it is. So these people think. They're like, if I sign with them, I get a look, man.
Yeah, but as the network, you actually do have a mechanism. You do know how to build something. So that expertise is worth something.
We're not talking about a person with no followers and no following that we're trying to craft. We're talking about a prominent personality being told, sign with us and give us 90% of your existing revenue and we'll give you back 10%.
Yeah.
Here's the reason it didn't work on me. I run a company. So when all these companies came to me and said, here's our standard structure, I said, this is a literal quote. I said, are you asking me for a loan?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who I was talking to, but these companies come to me and they're like, we're going to guarantee you this much money. We're going to do this for you. We're going to do that for you.
They basically want to give you a job working for yourself.
They want me to give them.
Working for yourself.
They want us to sign over,
money, right?
sign over all of the money we already make and our future prospects, our growth projections, and everything in exchange for less money than we make now.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who's not bridged that gap by simply setting up your own subscription website like Locals, Patreon, or a website, you don't know your own worth. So they're trying to get you to sign before you can realize you're worth 10 times what they're offering you.
There's definitely predatory people, and I think that
All of them.
There's in betweens,
And they probably play the numbers game too. They probably approach, they go, just like picking up a girl. You just go 100 of them and two of them say yes. And
They'd be doing a disservice if they didn't come low. You got to come low.
Of course.
You got to come low. But like you said, Ryan, earlier, they're freeing up hard drive space, like mental hard drive space. Because a lot of people, they don't want to have to hire a web dev. They don't want to 3 hours a week talk to the guy who's building and maintaining the website. That's a lot, because it's not just 3 hours. It's all the energy that's required to open up that virtual
have
drive.
an employee you're overseeing. Like, I'll just say, when I'm working on podcasting and sketches, I'm in some ways better at running a company. When I'm really focused on stand up, I find it very difficult to have even 3 phone calls I have to make. Yeah. So there's a cost benefit where you go, where is my time better spent? And if I'm able to sit here and focus on one thing, I might actually make more money and I might make more of
here's my
better
question.
stuff.
My question is, would you rather take orders or give the orders? So maybe a lot of people just really want to be told what to do.
Neither is the ideal, depending on what stage you are.
So if you're going to sign with one of these companies, what you're doing is you're saying the business management of my company should be my boss. Or you can say, I'm the talent that's driving the viewership and I should hire someone to take care of the tasks that are too much for me. So that's the big difference.
You're setting up the infrastructure.
Yeah.
But it's not, but you're not. You go to a guy and you say, this is what I want done. Here's a check. Have a nice day. And then you wake up and the job is done.
Well, you're saying that, but finding a guy is not that easy. Just building any company, hiring the right people.
If we're talking about the difference.
You're good at it, probably.
The difference between being told what to do, having your money taken away from you, and being under one of these garbage contracts Dave Landau's so mad about, is I didn't spend 3 days to Google search a website that can handle this element of my company for me.
Yeah.
Then maybe you deserve to have that crappy contract.
Yeah. Well, also a lot of people were saying in the chat today, they're like, I didn't know who Dave Landau was before he was on Crowder. So some people who are on Team Crowder are like, yeah, I didn't even know who you were. So
that's my experience with Timcast. I mean, I am on a salary. This thing has rocketed my public profile. I had 600 followers on Twitter when I joined. I have 92,000 right now.
bragging.
And now he's got an organization.
And a
that's great at all-
larger
check mark.
biceps too.
No check
We're
mark.
starting an organization that we promote on the show.
that's yours. That's yours.
My girl Greta Thunberg.
We got to go to super.
So,
yes,
so
we gotta go to
value
Super
is more
Chats.
than just money.
We got to go to.
of course.
We're going to go to
course.
Super Chats, and then let's read some Super Chats. All right, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the show with your friends. Become a member by going to timcast.com, clicking join us. We're going to have an uncensored members only show at 10:10 p.m. just after we wrap up here, and those live shows are always archived and can be viewed at any time. So. All right, Goldilocks Production says, no accountability for these corrupt people. Baldwin should be in jail. It's pretty damn clear his intent was to kill, and there was a motive. Even if that's not the case, negligent discharge and unintentional manslaughter are still charges. Lock him up. I agree. All right. Grofty says, buck the like button. Absolutely.
Do it.
Sam Trendy J says, hey, Ryan and Danny, for the Bugman
Boys.
series, please see if you can get Kenny and Spenny to guest star in an episode or two.
Kenny was Kenny was in my movie actually where I shot the gun.
We were talking about that, but yeah, we're on our Patreon. We're doing. We're actually filming it this Sunday, but it's me and Danny in a manliness competition, and the loser has to take back all the stuff in a helmet with a dildo on.
to a Home Depot. It's very Kenny and Spenny-ish.
Yeah,
and
no,
they're from Toronto as well.
No, we want to get him on the podcast too, so that's definitely a possibility.
Well, I would like to take those smiles away from you, so I'll read this next super chat. Jack Hammer says, 30 years ago today, the ATF and FBI intentionally and gleefully burned 50 adults and 25 kids alive in America.
On 420?
It was on 420. Yeah, I guess so.
the hell?
That was Waco, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it an accident? Like, oh no, dude, I dropped it.
Yeah.
I was just trying to light this bull.
That was
yeah,
horrifying.
That was on
Waco.
420?
I guess so.
First I heard that. Waco
It's a
fire.
Hitler
Robert
related
Knights
thing.
says, big news out of Colorado, assault weapons ban on par with California failed to make it out of committee due to resident pushback. Big win for 2A. Wow. And I think Nebraska just went constitutional carry, didn't they?
The Waco fire was on April 19th, so it would have been 30 years ago yesterday.
Yesterday.
Gotcha.
Matthew Reckamp says, I recently found out that West Virginia is ranked most obese state in the country. Will the Cast House have a gym with milestone awards like free month of membership for every such and such?
Biggest loser of Timcast.
Yeah, why don't we do it? I mean, I think people have stopped drinking a lot. Have you noticed that? A lot of people have stopped drinking.
Really?
I mean, the
Not New York.
no. A lot of
Actually,
people
yeah,
drink
that's true.
alcohol-free beer.
What?
Wow.
That's worse.
Yeah,
You
because
get
you're like
fat,
all
but
the
you don't get drunk?
It's
Yeah.
literally just carbonated wheat juice. I'm
You
like,
mean
that's
that people have
disgusting.
switched to other things?
No, I'm saying people just don't drink. Like
Period.
Yeah, like I would say 80% of the guests that we bring in now are like, oh, I stopped drinking.
More than that. Oh, no, not the stop. They just don't drink. But more, 80.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said they've stopped.
Yeah.
I'm drunk right now.
I can tell.
It's a very serious problem, and Ryan, I hope you can get him some assistance.
Yeah. No, I'll listen. New York, where we live, has two types of people. It's like people that like drink nonstop, or people that like had to stop because it was a problem. You know,
Andrew
Did you just drink
Huberman,
some of that?
neuroscientist.
No, I was just giving it a sniff.
I forgot who that was.
Who brought this?
the Don Julio.
Do you remember who brought that?
This is a nice one.
It was that guy. He was with a woman.
Narrows it down.
Do you remember?
Sounded
I
accusatory.
remember what he looks
He's like a Blaze host, I think.
Yeah, I don't know who he is though.
I forgot his name.
Alex Stein.
No.
By the way, I will be making an appearance on Alex Stein's show next week as well.
Prime time.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be hot.
He's great. All right.
Yeah.
T-Rex Pet Shop says, I love Ryan's random interviews to citizens in New York City. Ryan, what's the most memorable answer to one of your outrageous questions you asked a random citizen?
I don't think there's any like memorable answer like that, but I'd say the funniest one was my old TV show when we had a fake pants that had the penis cut of
python
fake
pants?
python pants. Me and Danny wrote this, and we went to we were selling this python pants, and we broke into this place called Harry Rosen and Holt Renfrew and all these fashion houses, and then basically the fashion house got their lawyers and then called the network and got the show taken off the air. Pretty crappy, actually.
Now that we think about it, it was a win for Holt Renfrew.
We were like, huh?
Yeah. I will say remember the girl who like the best way to break down your man, and then she psychologically
sabotaged.
sabotaged.
Viral, yeah.
There was a video where the guy's like, "Oh yeah," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah." You're like those girls. The girls. He's like, "Yeah."
Oh, the WNBA.
No.
It's the best ever.
I know what he's talking about. I said, "Do you think that Bill Clinton smashed more girls or killed more people or vaginas?"
Oh, geez.
And this black guy is like,
so funny.
Yeah,
It is so
exactly.
because it's so genuine and there's such a loving connection between you guys while it's happening. It's so
and then he
great.
goes to me. He was like, "You ever had a threesome?" I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh, you gotta have a threesome."
All right, let's read this one. Noah Sanders says, Ryan and Danny should write write a movie about this whole thing starring Danny as Alec and Ryan as his lawyer. It'd be funny to see how they think he got off.
That would be funny to do,
That-
like a
that'd be-
Baldwin movie.
that'd be pretty
But
good.
like make it a horror film. Like it's he's the villain.
Oh, I was thinking that you'd make it like a bumbling, like everything's an accident.
Yeah.
Like
you make him Dr. Magoo.
he fumbles the gun and the bullet flies in the air and then lands in it and he's like, whoa,
I know.
bang, oh, geez.
The opening scene will be Biden getting elected, and he goes, "Well, I'm done with that." Calls up his agent. What we got in the pipeline? I guess this is over.
Like in the Joker where he's putting the makeup on, it's like him putting the orange paint on.
yeah, and then just wiping it on my face.
Oh, I got to read this. Carl Andrews, this is a good one. He says, Pulitzer Prizes are handed out like loaded weapons on an Alec Baldwin set. That's a good one.
I'm telling you, I have one.
Norm says, Tim, buy Buzzfeed. And then that's why we talked about it.
BuzzFeed.
All right, what do we got? XYNZ says, Hutchins' husband works for the same firm as Sussman, shooting at the same time as Sussman being deposed by Durham. Odd rhyme to that. Weird, huh? All right. Iggy the Incubus says, buy BuzzFeed, shutter it, and funnel the resources from selling it off into further improving Timcast. Consider this 10 what I can afford to contribute towards this fund.
One new desk.
There's no way we're buying BuzzFeed.
Oh, he's already
Glad I was able to talk you out of it.
$106 million to buy their public shares or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think you made a good point. Just wait a few months.
Just wait.
Once it drops down to a couple mil.
I mean, we might be in a recession. We might be going in a recession. Like that could be. It could be legit bankrupt.
You're gonna buy
I'm gonna
it,
get
and then
sued by, like,
you're
the
literally
SEC
gonna
or
be a
something.
knock at the door, and they're gonna drop off the letters from the sign. That's all you get. Hey, go. There's your company.
That's what's left of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a tang.
EHAF says, buy it, turn it into a fact-checking site for their own past articles. That's a good one. All right. Raymond G. Stanley Jr. says, the director of the ATF doesn't know what an assault weapon is. Is tobacco his thing? Typical Biden administration in charge of a department they don't know ish about. Did you guys see that? Who was it? Was it Gates or Massey or somebody? Asked the ATF director, what is an assault weapon? He's like, look, I'm not here to make those. I'm not a gun expert.
That'd
So
be me.
it's like you're director of the ATF. It's the firearms is part of the name.
That's what when they ask us, what's it like to have sex with a girl? We go, like, it's really good.
Moonday says, Tim, I think people being upset about the Baldwin situation is because if it was any regular citizen, including anyone in that room, they would come after you as hard as they could. It's the people versus the elite.
Maybe we're biased because we are actors or whatever. Like sometimes, I guess, or whatever.
I literally shot a gun on set. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like that could happen to me.
Oh, yeah,
I guess
for
that,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like I
Loop
feel
your
like
eye and you're going, "Go."
I just feel like that's something like that could happen to me.
Right? Shadowheart says, this is me officially asking for a petition for Tim to buy BuzzFeed and meme the ever-living shiz
back
out of
in.
it. Please let the re-flow. If we were going to buy BuzzFeed, we have to get a loan.
Yeah.
But we could probably pull it off. But realistically, the Daily Wire could buy BuzzFeed right now.
Yeah.
Daily Wire's revenue right now, I think based on their, all the news that's come out about their stuff, they could easily just buy it.
Yeah,
And
they probably
should.
could. Yeah,
That'd be awesome if they bought it. That'd be the greatest thing ever. BuzzFeed.com.
call it like Shapiro Wire.
No, it's called BuzzFeed, and then they just put Ben
What about if
Shapiro
they buy
on.
a WNBA team, probably same amount of money, and they call it like?
Are you kidding?
No, they call it like
Same amount of money?
like the Los Angeles Ben Shapiro's.
The most offensive thing about that is that you think that a WNBA team costs near $100 million.
Yeah, it costs around there.
No.
You think so?
That's so
No
funny.
way. Someone look how much of it.
Angeles
I'm on
Ben
it.
Shapiro.
250,000? Wait, no.
I'll take two.
I'm buying one tomorrow.
Yeah, expansion teams in the
Not
NPF
250,000.
only cost
No,
250 grand.
WNBA.
It says it is possible to buy a WNBA team for a relatively low price, with expansion teams in the NPF only costing $250,000 to buy,
NPF is different.
$1 million to operate. The 2019 of the New York Liberty was estimated to be between 10 million and 14 million.
Oh, okay.
So a tenth of the cost.
Okay, but that's 2019.
Which team was that?
That was New York, the New York Liberty. I don't know. Maybe
New York?
I mean, they lose like $50
Let's
million
do it, boys.
a year. Yeah.
I'm still liking the New York Ben Shapiro.
No,
Los Angeles Ben
guys,
Shapiro's.
I have an idea for how we can make the best WNBA team ever.
okay.
And also make a comedy movie about how we made the best WNBA team ever.
Juana
I'm gonna,
Man.
I'm going to stop right there and just keep reading super chats. All right, let's see what we got. Cubicle Investor says,
You just
Tim,
dropped the W.
but not in the league. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Oh, I got you. You're saying I got you. Only trans?
We're on the level.
Well, we'll just read some more super chats. Noah Sanders says, Tim, if you do buy BuzzFeed, you should turn it into a satire news site like the Babylon Bee.
Isn't it already satire news?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cubicle Investor says, Tim, couldn't you just buy a significant amount of the stock or controlling interest instead of buying them outright? I don't have that much money.
And I don't actually think they're
Like
satire.
I don't have $60 million lying around to just do something
Plus,
like that.
once you start in the open market buying the stock, then it goes up in price.
Although I do think it's really weird. Like there's a bunch of websites that claim to have like everyone's net worth, and they're just not true. It's all
I know.
wrong.
I've always said this. I go, the top 100 richest people in the world are not on some public list.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right.
They're like
I think-
trillionaires. I heard a guy was worth 200. Evelyn Rothschild. I heard this. I don't know if it's real or not. Worth $240 trillion.
Yeah, like Elon Musk is like, he's the richest man in the world, like that we know of. There's many, many richer people than him.
Yeah, like I'm sure the largest real estate owner of one of the underground cities beneath the Denver airport's worth more than Elon Musk.
Well, and then also they have like all their kids have a trust with half the money that they can't touch. Like, you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's.
And when you own Mars, you're worth Mars.
Yeah.
There's no amount of dollars you can put on
What's
that.
the currency on Mars?
Martian soil, I
Martian
think.
soil. I'm not sure.
Marslers.
Mars bucks.
Marslers.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's
Bitcoin. It's going to be whatever Elon Musk creates. 'Cause-
It'll be X tokens.
think
it'll be
These little
Doge.
X's. Yeah.
All right, what do we got? Tav Nazian says, Ian, DBZ androids are actually cyborgs. There's your answer.
DBZ Android.
Yeah, that was funny because anybody who knows that, they kept referring to the characters as androids, but then Krillin knocked one up and had a baby.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not just
TV
pretty
show.
lost here.
Android 18? Is that
Yeah,
the
it's like
show?
an android on a show, and
Fictional
then,
character
but
in
it turns out it
Dragon
could have
Ball.
babies. It was a woman, and it's like, okay, it's not an android. Androids can't have babies like that. You know what I mean?
Los Angeles Ben Shapiro.
Someone please
is
make
this
the
a
jerseys.
This is a TV show?
Dragon Ball Z. It's like the
Android.
Marvel
Oh, Dragon Ball Z. Okay.
All right, Eric F says Replica should have had the AI girlfriends break up with their boyfriends rather than just shut off access.
Yeah, and let him down gently.
No way, harsh.
I'm just trying to
think so?
focus on
Just
my
cold and
career.
They should say like, the reason I'm breaking up with you is because you're a loser who tries to date AI.
Get stronger.
Oof, that
Lift
really
weights.
hurts.
Just rip their heart out.
You're AI. He goes, I know.
All right. Justin says, I've had an idea for the Timcast crew doing side projects of documentaries, web series. It would be hard for Tim because of time, but you could hire Luke and Ian to go around exploring and explaining new topics. Much love from STL. We have 2 documentaries that are complete. One's on the Federal Reserve and one's on guns. The Federal Reserve documentary was produced by Ben Stewart and my friend Harrison Schultz. And then the gun rights one is produced by Lauren Southern and her crew. Yeah.
Ben Stewart.
So they're just about ready for publication.
I saw a little snippet of it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's theirs, yeah.
Fantastic producer, Ben Stewart. He did DMT Quest on the Gaia Network. He's legit.
And I just want to stress, boy, did we get lucky on this. We decided to do a gun control doc around the time we're having all of the Democrats pushing for the gun control.
I thought you were going to say all these mass shootings.
Well, no, I was going to say it's like the gun control narrative has become particularly prominent in the press, and banks are collapsing. And we started working on these like 6 months ago. And so what luck for us, banks are collapsing and Democrats are trying to ban guns right at the time we're supposed to be publishing these documentaries.
Sounds like you need to be doing a BuzzFeed doc next up. Collapse that thing.
Collapse of the
Or
media.
maybe something on artificial intelligence next.
That was actually the plan.
Actually, Ben, that was Ben's
Right.
idea as well. Okay.
Yeah, so that's in the pipeline.
We'll do it.
I don't know if we should say the name
No,
of it
no,
yet.
not yet.
All right. Matt says, Ryan, Danny, Patreon annual Boys Cast subscriber here.
Nice.
Love you guys, all homo. Hurry up on Bugman versus Bugman.
We're filming Sunday.
Are you? Okay, I got. Look, you guys, you're on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you live in New York.
Yeah.
That's just unacceptable.
I'll tell you what, like, I do think it's cool to have a big compound or whatever, but I do think New York's cool. And it's fun to be like outside, but if I was here for like a month, like, I don't know, I've lived in cities my whole life. I'm a city guy.
Why Patreon though?
Oh, as opposed to what?
Locals.
To me, I would say locals wise, and this is just like we're comedians, so it's like I would like to be on sites that don't have like political affiliations.
Patreon does though. Hardcore, super leftist.
No, they don't have like. I know what you're saying.
Right, you're saying they banned all of the people who are anti-establishment, right, or libertarian, and kept all the leftists.
So that's
the problem.
That's the first part of it. The second part of it is that like we're not really in a position. So if every comedian was like, we're in a position. like for certain things that were like, you know, maybe tastemakers in certain things. And, you know, if you were like, okay, we're going to this and three
People will follow
Same
you,
with like
right?
5 big Rumble people. Like if right now, you know, the 4 or 5 biggest comedians were all like, we're off Patreon. But right now that is the one that all the comedians
and there's
are
so
on.
much friction.
It's kind of like
people.
It's kind of like knowing how important you are. Like we're not really like important enough to be like, you know, moving to one where none of the other comedians are there.
Yeah.
So is it like one person signs up to 10 comedians?
Put it this way: if Andrew Schultz, Tim Dillon, and I don't know, whatever, someone else like that, Shane was like, "Hey, we're all switching to this new one." Like every comedian would. It's just we're not the.
But why does it matter?
We're not the industry leader.
Why does it matter where they are?
Well, no, it's not that. I'm just saying, like, okay, here,
like the context
listen,
of it.
right now, remember how Joe Rogan moved to Austin, and now all those comedians are moving to Austin. That's kind of creating an Austin being a hub. Like,
boy, that
okay,
sounds
if
so
I move to
sad.
Austin, every comedian's not following me to Austin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, we're also.
But why does it matter?
You know, there are little things.
Why
like
does
in
it matter
my-
that other comedians are on Patreon?
because people are like accustomed to sites. Like for example, if someone, you know, Russell Brand went to Rumble, I'm sure a lot of people followed him. If we go to Rumble, like we're not really in that type of position where we like
But
bring
that's
a
not the
huge
same thing
audience
as
with
Patreon.
us because we're fairly like new in the game. Like we've only been here in
Look, how
people's
about
public
this?
eye
If
for a few years.
5,000 more subscribers subscribe to our Patreon, then we'll move over.
Why not set up an alternative for people who don't want to be on Patreon?
Yeah,
We
I
could do a
know
second one, yeah.
you're a big proponent on having your own thing, though.
Well,
right?
I'm a proponent
Yeah.
on Patreon has knifed so many people in the back that you're setting yourselves up to have your entire income stripped from you at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
like
I think there's probably something to be said for that.
And like you guys are probably huge
we have
targets for that.
We have the YouTube, like you can do it on YouTube, but you're right. It's possible for us to just like have a bunch of them. You know?
you know what I'm really hoping actually is that Elon basically does that because I don't see
It's
why
up. You
Twitter
can do it.
can't.
You can do it right
but-
now.
But why can't
Yeah.
you can't upload audio though to Twitter? Like Twitter has podcasts.
We'll just upload a video with no video.
Yeah, but people, you start adding these hurdles for people, and
Right.
they're just you lose them. The more things you add, the more friction, the more people fall off the wayside. So, but I don't see why
Yeah.
he can't turn Twitter into everything that all these things offer.
Yeah.
Like you know how Carl Benjamin got banned from Patreon, right?
No, I don't like. Yeah,
he
what
was
happened?
Sargon of Akkad.
Sargon of Akkad. He did a year before he got banned. He went on a live stream to argue against racism, and the stream had a couple thousand views. No one ever saw it.
Yeah.
And he called people that he was arguing were racists. He called them a racial slur, saying, "You are exactly as you describe those people. You are, racist. You are this." A year later, they erased his entire income without notice, without recourse, without access to any of his data or his audience.
Yeah. What do you think's the best one then? If you were going to do a service without creating your own, what do you think's the best one?
Without locals,
Well, it sounds
I
like
guess.
creating your own is like you say.
So it's so easy.
Yeah, but that's what we're working on right now. The charity, we have the back end developed.
As a person, I'm always like, it's hard for me to get another thing. You know what I mean? So if like I personally will subscribe to people's things on things that I have. Like I've subscribed to Patreons and stuff like that, or whatever. I may subscribe to someone's locals, but like I don't think I've ever yet like done someone's website. I don't know. Maybe
I mean, I don't.
Maybe
look,
I'm just like
I'll be
maybe
honest,
I'm
It may be too much for you guys to make a website. Locals may be too
not too much. I just don't know if like we're positioned to
Well,
for it to work.
My bet is that because I think G Prime just got banned a couple months ago.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, he got banned. You guys will be banned, and you'll wake up with no money and no access to your followers. You won't know who you lost.
Yeah.
You won't have their emails. Patreon's done
Probably
that
right.
so many times. But no kidding. Like I think G Prime.
We should maybe go back.
I mean, my whole
right,
life is
right. We should
getting
maybe,
beat up.
You guys-
we should go maybe back up the list when we get back to New York.
You guys know G Prime, right?
No.
The guy who did these
G Prime 85.
these gag comics, like Joe Biden lightning striking somebody.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Patreon banned him too.
For what?
They don't tell you.
No, they don't even give you
They
a
just
reason.
delete your account and all your income and all your followers without telling you.
Elon, save us.
Okay, well we don't want that.
I mean, I'm telling you, no, we don't want that.
What is your Patreon, by the way?
/ the boys cast. You're right.
Yep. Back in December.
Tim's giving our Patreon quite the advertisement. here.
The real issue is centralized.
I think we just
subscription
lost
services.
50 patrons.
Yeah, there's no Bugman versus Bugman this week. Sorry, we went under the threshold.
This is
I think
December
we just lost 50 patrons.
December 8th. Patreon banned G Prime 85 and another guy. And they were told they had to censor their content, so he was given a warning, I guess.
Yeah, ultimately, it really is just like any centralized subscription service is a risk.
What? Okay, if
So
you were
the idea
Yeah,
is to-
but
is to
let's be
build a new-
real.
if you were us, would you just do
Patreon-
all of them?
If
stay with what you have
If I were
and
you,
get
I'd
ready
sign
to
up for
move.
locals.
Yeah, I mean, they take a hefty. Patreon does take a pretty sizable
10%?
No, it's like 20%.
You know why? I really don't get it. Like locals is a lot less than that.
Yeah.
I mean, my advice is just make a website and then control it all.
Yeah.
But the easiest thing is if you guys don't want to, you go to locals, which is Rumble infrastructure.
Because you're already like building one, and then you should like, okay, well, cut that in half and then try to start again.
Yeah, the problem is if we said everybody go move over to locals, like they're
don't.
not.
I don't know.
You don't
Like
do
we go,
that.
we're shutting down the Patreon.
Look. When we removed PayPal from Timcast.com, we still have a large portion of our audience subscribed through PayPal. We never said, hey, everybody, we are requiring everyone to quit. We said, if you want to, you can, but don't worry about it. All new memberships just default to Parallel Economy, which is Rumble infrastructure as well. Okay. Because we are like, look, man,
maybe you're right.
It's not all about me saying we're going to stick it to the man and we're going to push back. That's a big component of it. It's
you're
also,
just like, I don't want to get screwed.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, I do have a locals account from
Jack
my
Conte,
show, Low Value Mail.
Jack Conte promised that after I think Lauren Southern got her income deleted, they would never do that again. And then they did it again. And that's what caused Sam Harris and Peterson and Ruben and everybody to flee the platform and me. And the worst thing about it was I wasn't even given a strike, but so many people canceled their Patreons that I ended up losing thousands of dollars per month.
Yeah, because they canceled their whole thing and
They're
you were
just, like,
one of them.
morally opposed to it.
So the issue is it's not even necessarily like there could be a comedian on the platform like Tim Dillon, like maybe they ban him, right? And then how many patrons will you guys lose because of that collateral damage?
Yeah,
and the issue is if these people are like, I'm going to sign up for Ryan and Danny, and you say, hey, go to locals and do it. They sign up for Tim, they sign up for you.
I feel like we're in the office right now getting scolded.
Well, I mean,
Tim, could you buy Patreon instead of BuzzFeed?
My issue
Buy
is
Patreon.
This would solve that problem.
I think Patreon's an evil company.
Yeah.
Deeply evil. I think it's being run by parasites. And I am still shocked that after every bad thing they've done and all the lies they've pushed, people are still like, I don't care. I'll still use it. And it's just like, I don't even know why George Alexopoulos was
I guess
using
I just feel like that about like almost every platform. And we're trying to, like, we put all our stuff on Rumble, but it's like, they just like don't get any views. Like, no one watches it.
Let's read
like if our stuff was doing better on Rumble, I'd be like, yeah, I'm all in on being a Rumble guy. But it's just
who
like
cares?
no one watches it.
Yeah, but locals is not Rumble.
I thought,
so we'll read one more and then
they're linked though.
Here's what I'm going to do.
well, I appreciate the advice. Maybe
Here's what I'm going to do,
Rumble
guys.
bot locals.
Let's read one more. Raymond G. Stanley Jr. says, when is the gun control doc dropping? Soon. So Lauren's going to be coming out. We're going to be going over the final bits of the doc, and we got to figure out a distribution plan and a promotion plan. And, we'll just figure out how we want to do it. But so that in the next week or two, she should be coming to hang out where we'll work on it. Maybe we'll have her on the show. So hopefully soon. And hopefully both of them soon. We can't launch them both at the exact same time, but we'll figure it out. So I'm really excited for that. Here's what I'm going to do. I've got a plan for making the best WNBA team. And I'm going to explain it to you on the members only portion of the show. So go to timcast.com, click join us, become a member. And in about 10 minutes, we'll have a live members only show up on the front page. You don't want to miss it. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. You can follow the show at Timcast IRL, basically everywhere, but not, I don't know if the URL is on Twitter. And you can follow, actually, maybe I can get that one. You can follow me personally at Timcast. Ryan, Danny, do you guys want to shout anything out?
Yes. If I could have you do one thing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My handle is _Danny. Please do that. I will appreciate you very much. I put out all sorts of stuff there. I stream every Tuesday and Wednesday night. And just do that, please. And I'll be this Saturday in Morris Plains, New Jersey, headlining at the Dojo of Comedy.
The Boys Cast is me and Danny's podcast every Friday, and you can catch me in Atlanta, Philadelphia, San Diego, Tampa, and New York. Those are the dates we have right now. RyanLongComedy.com.
I didn't say you could shout those dates out.
I'm so sorry, dude.
Yeah, you got to give 10% of the door. That was another part. He sold out. He sold out. He had to give 10% of the door.
I own your special now. Yeah. That's just the rules.
I'm getting kicked off Patreon. I don't have a special.
We're going to be hitchhiking back to New York.
I'm going to see myself out.
Jesus. So, Ian tells me I'm living in the freaking Matrix.
Hey, everyone.
I'm getting freaking obliterated here.
You're living in a Matrix. There's many more than one. Hey, guys, this is my brand. Follow me on the internet everywhere at Ian Crossland, and love every minute of it. Love you too, Danny. I love you as well, Ryan. I love tall, lanky man.
Ian, I love
big, muscular drummer.
In this world.
Yes. We have one more amazing human on my right.
Yeah, I am Serge.com. Follow me on Twitter. That's all I can say.
All right, everybody. We will see you all over at timcast.com in about 10 minutes. Thanks for hanging out.